Same cues. Different views. Different views. Cue drops and logical news. It's okay to have a different view. This is the place for questions and truth. You're gonna love our conservative views. Same cues, different views. Hex 7, he likes to follow Q. The latest drops he'll provide to you. 17, Parabellum, he likes to watch conservative news. Newsmax, he'll break down the facts and bring them straight to you. Big country, he's a wild card. Check the scanner, he cleans his weapons and drives big rigs in your yard. Anunnaki, hey, same cues. Like and subscribe, hey, different views. Same cues, don't forget to follow. Different views, hey, different views. Hey. The show will now begin in 3, 2, 1. Join the revolt. Different girls. Hey, 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 hey. Join the revolt.
All right, man. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, episode 29. Same cues, different views. Bear with me a second. I'm trying to make sure everything's streaming where it should be streaming at. Didn't you? Well, I guess we'll go ahead and save that for badass clips.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were going to do it at the top of the show.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. I can do it real quick. Let's just share a big old pig fart with everybody.
Yeah,
let's start off right.
Yeah.
God damn. Hey, man.
Welcome to the
Goddamn
shit
laughing
show.
thing.
It never gets old, man.
I'm telling you, dude. That poor little Chihuahua, man. That pig had Taco Bell. Yeah.
Yo, Keto Taco Bell.
Oh, man.
Oh,
What we got
same
going on
cues.
tonight, big guy?
Same cues, different views, episode 29. Before we get started into this, there's a thumbs up down there, whatever platform you're watching on. Go down there and hit that thumbs up. And we've got, if you want to pull those QR codes up there, Parabellum, for Facebook and X.
Oh, they
There
are.
we go. You can screenshot those. And once it's in your photos, you can hold down on either one of those QR codes and it'll take you to our Facebook page or our X page, and you can follow us on there. But just wanted to put that out there real quick for everybody. So give us a follow.
I also wanted to add real quick. I love that we put like you put Hex 7 and under our names you put same cues, different views. I put some logical shit like see we pack them. You know, goes with Parabellum, the Latin phrase, and big country. Don't give her a bucks.
he went full Pantera on that.
It goes fully with our personalities, man. If that doesn't explain the show, I don't know what does.
We got a lot that's happened this week.
God, yes.
Share my screen here. One of the big things I thought was hilarious that happened this week was let me pull this up. This is the White House's official page. Check this out. This is my safe space. It's kind of like the White House done this. It's like a parody of MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Schumer's page.
They're doubling down on the sombreros, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's got all this like just all this stuff about Schumer. It's hilarious. His friends list, Chuck, a real Chucky,
and T for the real Tampon Tim. That's
Yeah.
great, dude. On WhiteHouse.gov. I mean,
Yeah,
dude.
like this is our White House now, and I voted for this shit.
I love it. That's common sense. That's common sense humor, man.
I miss MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right.
wonder what Tom thinks of the White House doing that and parodying. Is that how you say that?
Parroting or
Parody, yeah.
I know
Freaking
what you
parody.
mean. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I wonder what Tom thinks of the White House doing that.
I think
Dude,
Tom's
I
gonna
love
make
it.
a comeback, dude.
I hope he does. Tom's like, I gave you free glitter graphics.
Yeah.
Now you got Facebook who monitors your shit. But anyway, what do you say we jump into this? Same cues, different views, episode 29 tonight.
Definitely.
So I thought, this came out earlier this week, and
Oh, this is the big.
Yep, this is FBI official letterhead note by Comey. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I've seen
I
that.
haven't
It's
seen it.
it's an actual handwritten letter of him that pretty much shows that he he knew exactly what was going on with Russia collusion hoax and everything. He was absolutely involved.
Yep.
I mean, this ain't auto pen. It's
no,
his.
no.
It's his pen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Comey pen. But I posted this and I said Comey's toast. Like
Absolutely.
this pretty much, like everything he said was a lie, in my opinion. But kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit. One more
Definitely, that's
thing.
two big things on that. Look at the date
Yeah.
right there that you got. It's 9/26, 2016. Okay, here comes the Russia collusion hoax. But what is it that he hand wrote in there? Comey, HRC plan to tie Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, dude, it don't get no more smoking gun than that.
Yeah, 100%.
So welcome to that indictment.
Yeah.
Then we also had Brennan is looking like he's getting indicted, and we'll get to some of that in a little bit too. But
Oh yeah, Brennan's next on the list.
one of the things I do want to let's see, where's it at here? There it is. Nope, that's not it. There we go. That's it. Guys, we are experiencing bad weather in our area. I don't know what's going on right now. I've been kind of following Ryan Hall a little bit tonight to see what's happening. My power has went out once already. Has either of your guys' power went out yet?
No, I
My
haven't
power
got a
don't
flip.
go out.
That's how big country. Generac. Underneath your name needs to be Generac.
Yeah.
Preparedness. But let's check in on Ryan Hall and see what's going on right now. See if he's got anything.
We've definitely got some bad weather. So
That was a shameless plug, by the way. Generac, if you're listening. Hey, we're looking at sponsors.
hey, we're gonna want royalties, you sons of bitches.
Let's see what Ryan Hall has
Thank you
here.
very much, Elijah. Ugh. Hold on, let me log this.
Oh, this is in Nashville.
All right, I got to
If
refresh.
anybody's curious about the weather that's going on in
So yeah, that's an update from Elijah.
Yeah, it's a
Also,
storm running
while
across the
Elijah
eastern
was
front right
updating
now.
us, we got this new piece of information: severe thunderstorm warning for Rutherford and Williamson counties in Tennessee.
Okay, so
I hear the thunder rumbling right now.
yeah, me too. I can
There
hear it
it is, yeah.
outside.
So this storm over here south of Nashville is actually starting to increase in intensity quite a bit as it goes towards Murfreesboro. So Murfreesboro, we're
Storm
going to
is
do
upon
this
us.
again. Get ready, y'all.
All right, so nothing in our area at the moment. I'll keep an eye on that tonight. And if
Which
it-
way is this beast traveling anyway? I haven't really got to watch any of the weather this evening. Is it coming up from the south or out of the west, or what's going on?
I thought it was coming up from coming down from the north, if I'm not mistaken, is what they were talking about last night.
Southeast across the United States out into the Atlantic.
So it's moving southeast?
I believe it's moving southeast across the Atlantic right now.
Well,
And,
if we're in
we're-
Nashville with it right now, we should be in the clear, I would think.
Well,
Yeah.
if anything breaking happens, and here at the house especially, I'll
All
pull
the people in
Ryan-
Kentucky, where we're from.
I'll pull Ryan Hall back up, and we'll see what's happening. But anyway, just wanted to kind of let everybody know that we may lose power tonight. The show may not go the full length, and if it does, we apologize. But peace out, guys. God bless. Where we go on, we go all. End of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been said. It's been said.
But Here's
You know me, if you guys jump out here real quick, I'll go Wayne's World on their ass.
here's I think you got something on this too, don't you, Parabellum?
I got a little bit. I got a couple clips on Nancy Pelosi, right?
Pelosi
will not seek re-election.
Yep. Pelosi and Jared Golden is not going to run. Plus, there's quite a few others here. I think I've got. Let's look at a list here. Here's the others that we've got that's not going to run. There's some Republicans in that.
Quick question to you, Hex.
Okay.
Didn't you have a and you this may be part of what you're getting ready to get at? Didn't you have a Q post that said something about some will be forced out?
I've got this coming up. Yep. So let's take if you want to give a read there, Parabellum, who's not going to be seeking re-election.
Okay, let me see. So we've got a couple of Republicans. The Republicans, Joni Ernst and Tom Tillis, Republican, Iowa and North Carolina. Democrats, Dick Durbin and John Shaheen. Another Republican, Mitch McConnell, thank God.
Yeah.
Freaking rhino turd. Dude, he lost his shit towards the end of his days, as far as I'm concerned. I'm conservative through and through, man. But anyway, drop some Joe Dirt on you. Through and through, man. Gina Smith and Gary Peters, Democrat. Dude. Yeah,
so,
right.
So that's quite a few there. And I think there's more, if I'm not mistaken, that's not seeking re-election. But yeah, like Big Country was getting at there, I do have a cue on that, and I wanted to pull this up and give it a read. Any person making statements that they are not going to, or that they will not be seeking re-election was put into submission for the betterment of the country. Not all will be prosecuted, and all will do as told. You will see more of this occur. Not normal, yet disregarded, and even on the D side. So these people
that's
not seeking,
man.
Yep. These people not seeking re-election, and that's Q24. These people not seeking re-election, they were put into submission. And like Q says, not all of them will be prosecuted. They will do as told. And like I've been saying this, even before we had the show, like I've been saying this, like if you go back and look at Hillary Clinton at the DNC, and like she was making statements or saying phrases at the DNC that kind of made me think of Q kind of phrases. Like she was talking about especially electing Harris, and she was like, we got to fight for blah, blah, blah. We got to fight for blah, blah, blah. We got to fight for blah, blah, blah. There was 3 fights in there, fight, which that made me think of Q. So you had supposedly Hillary Clinton was detained back when Trump was coming into office there, and that whole video of her getting with her hands behind her back.
Absolutely. Showed silver cuffs.
My personal opinion was Hillary was detained. Hillary was given an ultimatum. You're going to work for us. We're going to tell you what to say and what to post. And when we tell you to do it, you can do it, or you better do it. Other than that, you can say whatever you want about Trump and, bad mouth and bash and blah, 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 blah. But when we tell you to do something, you are going to do it. Just like Q says in here.
Absolutely. I mean, dirty politicians can be controlled, and anybody knows what Nancy Pelosi's done. Insider trading alone. My God, she's able to make more money than some of the top hedge fund managers around the world.
Oh my God! Look how many times she beat the market, dude.
It's so easy to beat the market. That's insane, dude. That's like a larger chance of winning the lottery than doing that. Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous. So you can kind of roll with it that you can be controlled. If you got dirty things you've done, you can be controlled. I'll get down with that.
Did you have some stuff on Pelosi too?
I did. So President Trump wasn't holding anything back, dude. And he came out and he basically said what I would expect that he would say, and something that I'd say, just be truthful. We're not here to hand you roses and flowers and say, wow, what a great job you did. Here's President Trump in one of his Truth Social tweets.
Love this.
The old and broken political hack who impeached me twice and lost is finally calling it quits. She illegally made a fortune in the stock market, ripped off the American public, and was a disaster for America. I'm glad to see the stench of Nancy Pelosi go.
The stench.
God, gotta love our president for that. I got another little video. This was him when he was asked by a reporter about Nancy Pelosi. Yet again, not a holdback.
Nancy
Thank you,
Pelosi's
press.
retirement.
Thank you, press.
About Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi's
I
retirement.
think she's an evil woman. I'm glad she's retiring. I think she did the country a great service by retiring. I think she was a tremendous liability for the country.
And on Dick Cheney.
I thought she was an evil woman who did a poor job, who cost the country a lot in damages and in reputation. I thought she was terrible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
I thought she was terrible. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let me see that post by Trump again. Pull that back up there, Parabel.
I
Let
got
your head up. Oh, okay. Something just hit me here. Hold on just 1 second. Let me go to QAG.
I mean, I don't disagree with anything President Trump had to say, because you got to think of how hard she specifically went after him.
Yeah.
You know, and then think about all the January 6th stuff that went down, and she actually was the one that did not put in the National Guard, and President Trump was the one that paid.
There was actually several interviews, and Parabellum, I know you watch them too, but there were several interviews on Newsmax just right here in the last couple of days. People from the Democratic Party that are in approval of this too.
Absolutely.
Glad to see her gone, man.
They are, man. I mean, cut the head off the snake.
Yeah.
And that comes from both ends. I mean, it's insane. When you're there that long, I mean, maybe you got two heads, on both ends.
Well, you got
That's
here,
Okay, so let me add this back to stage here real quick. I'm glad to see her stench, the stench of Nancy Pelosi go, and it made me think of this Q drop here. Let me remove that, and well, crap. There we go.
I got you.
All right, so it made me think of this Q drop here, and it was October 8th, 2020 that it was posted. Q4835, and it says, "We need justice. We are ready. Let's go. Where we go on, we go all." So I don't know if it connects, but like it really made me think of that Q drop when I seen that.
I think absolutely. I mean, we definitely need justice.
Yep.
This is going to be one of those weird areas, like you also said, that, there may not be justice for Nancy Pelosi as far as the Republican side, but she's gone, and that is submission. And maybe in some instances, submission is justice.
Damn.
That's the best you can get.
All the insider trading she done.
My God, dude, that alone. I mean, she should be in prison.
Yep.
I mean, not totally out of the picture yet, I would say, and this kind of goes back to the drop that Hex just had posted too, about how some people would be forced out.
Yeah.
But in doing that, they can also put her in play against her own party.
Absolutely. When you're forced out, what happens after you're forced out, right?
Yeah, they're leveraging that against her.
Absolutely. So maybe you can start playing against your own party, and then you
just
start
keep
bringing down the
running that
dominoes. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Oops, I got too many. I went a little bit too far ahead here. Let me remove some of this stuff from stage. You were talking pre-show, Big Country, about West Virginia and Virginia.
Oh,
yeah, that's just a map I seen pop up on Facebook, dude. I thought that was kind of interesting. Counties that are wanting to secede from, looks like all of them's in Virginia. Am I seeing that right?
Yeah.
There may be a few. What is that?
No, it's all Virginia. Yeah.
All Virginia?
Yeah, it's all Virginia, West Virginia.
Yeah, counties wanting to secede from Virginia and join West Virginia.
So, yeah, they're wanting to
Red
kind of gerrymander and get new Senate seats.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I thought that was kind of interesting. I'd like to see that take hold across the country.
Yeah. Absolutely. Red seats? Is that what you're? Yeah, obviously red seats. Yeah.
Did you have Did you have something on that too, Parabellum? I thought.
No, I lost it because my computer restarted. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I hated that. I screenshotted that to you, Hex. There's actually a link down there in the bottom we probably could have got some info off of, but I just sent it as a pic.
Mamdani?
No, that's not Mamdani. That's New York. Mamdani.
No. I'm talking about like New York with Mamdani too. There's a lot of shit around him right now.
Oh my God, dude,
like
that's blowed up.
New York's going to be well, I think we were talking about this pre-show.
New York's going to be the new Islam state.
Yeah.
As
Hey,
far as I see it.
did the FDNY fire chief give it up? I knew he gave his resignation.
He gave his resignation. He's on his way out the door. And not only that, you got the fire department in New York chief. He's leaving out. On top of this, because of Zoran Mamdani's tax agenda and taxing the rich, well, he kind of crewed in the middle class and the lower class as far as everything that I seen to happen with this. And he got them in like, we're going to tax the rich. But guess what? Here's the difference between lower class, middle class, and the rich class. Okay? The rich class can move at any point of given time. They can change their job. Okay? They can go to another state. They can get paid. They can continue. They have the money to do it. Middle class, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little more problems. But lower class people, a lot of the Democrats that voted, okay, for Zoran Mamdani, it's going to blow back up in your face because the second that the rich people leave the state of New York, one thing I can promise you is this: who's going to foot the bill?
Right.
The same people that voted for him. I mean, you can't make this shit up, dude. It is absolutely insane.
We had what you're talking about there with, well, why is it not letting me add that? There we go. Now let me add it.
Didn't that asshole say he was going to arrest Netanyahu on sight if he ever came to New York?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he did.
I thought so.
Said he would. Good luck. Hey, Netanyahu's got like so many freaking warrants in so many countries. It's ridiculous now. He's turned into Trump.
But all that with him in New York made me think of Q95, Drop 95. What happened in Saudi Arabia, what happened here, Asia and the EU. Keep digging, keep organizing. The info and graphics, crucial. God bless Hillary, Saudi Arabia, Snow White, Godfather 3. But, you know, Q saying what happened in Saudi Arabia will happen here. And this whole thing with Mamdani, whatever.
Mamdani.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of made me think of that drop. I just kind of wanted to toss that out there too.
Absolutely. I got a few more little things on this, man. This is a huge topic of discussion, dude. So I don't know what New Yorkers are thinking. It reminds me a lot of Pennsylvania, you know, like when the election went down, they voted for Joe Biden. And it's like, I'm going to take away fracking. And it didn't quite fucking make sense. You know what I mean? That is your biggest, you know, cultural way of life is in Pennsylvania is fracking. And you're telling me that they showed up. It was like, we're going to take it away from you. Vote for Biden. And we're like, yeah. You know, I'm not getting that. That's kind of what's happening with Mamdani. And so here's the funny thing. After he got elected, everybody's seen it in their feeds. Here's one of the big things that he asked for. Check it out.
Hey, New York, you just got scammed. Remember how Zoran Mamdani, your new mayor, ran on a platform of free buses and free grocery stores and free rent? Well, now, one day after the election, he's asking you, the New Yorkers he said he was going to give free stuff to, for money.
One more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again. This transition requires staff, research, and infrastructure that can meet this moment. And it will be made possible by the people who built and believe in this movement. So I hope you'll make a donation at transition2025.com. Now let's get to work.
So if you want all that free stuff he promised you, just go to his website and send him some money. How's that communism working out for you?
I thought it really summed it up perfectly as far as that goes.
Yeah.
He ran on the total agenda of giving free stuff to all New Yorkers. Yet again, they fell for it. You know, a lot like the black population that's, you know, no offense, don't take this as racist, but they fell for it as far as the Democrat Party in the last 20 years. We'll do this for you. And then nothing. And then nothing. And then nothing. It's Mamdani. He's doing the same damn playbook, and they're falling for it again.
It's the classic bait and switch.
Yeah.
It
put me in mind of that saying Doc Holliday had on Tombstone. Your hypocrisy knows no bounds.
Absolutely, man.
And Trump comes back with I'll be your Huckleberry. Twirling a coffee cup.
I got one more, man. So another thing that was coming out, this talks about the rich people that were leaving and stuff of what's going on with Mamdani getting elected, you know, and people really don't know what it is that they've really started, I think, with this Mamdani. So one of the first things he says he's going to do whenever he takes over in 26 is that he's going to take local grocery stores and remove, lottery tickets, tobacco, and alcohol.
I'm not shopping there.
Yeah. Does that sound American to you?
I'm out.
Here's the guys that he's using. He's saying, well, I'll give it to those rural common areas, and I'll allow them to be able to give you alcohol, tobacco, and stuff, but I'm going to take it out of those major cities.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the guys that I think he's operating under to be able to pull this wool over the eyes, of Democratic people. It's a bunch of horseshit and garbage. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is one thing I know about Americans. What happens when you mess with our toys? We get pissed. We don't like it when you start messing with our automobiles. You start messing with our trucks. You start messing with all the things that we love, our guns, our Second Amendment. You start messing. That's right, big country. You start messing with that shit, and you got a problem on your hands with the American people. But let's move
some
forward.
of those folks you were talking about in those rural common areas that are getting ready to make bank if he does that.
Dude, they're going to. I mean, they're going to make a whole lot of money. That'll probably help out a lot of the rural areas. We'll see how it actually plays out. And we'll see if he actually does that for rural America. But one thing I can tell you is that something I've always said on this show. A Democrat never improves the life of rural America. No. They always improve the life of the voters in the city. I hear a whole bunch of stinky-ass Nancy Pelosi mumbo garbage coming, and I think it's going to be nasty down the road.
I like to think that they never do anything that improves those people's lives, but we always find out a way to use it to our advantage.
We do. That is our creativity that does come out.
Country boy can survive.
That's right. And that's exactly what we've learned to do. And that's why I think a lot of people should listen to the opinions of the rural people in America, because they are quite in tune with what's going on in the world today. I almost envy it sometimes. I'm like, wow. But they really know what's up, man.
Oh, yeah.
But going into the Zoran Mamdani, another part, talking about the rich people that's leaving. Let's see, this might be from Fox. I hope it's not from MSDNC or anything like that. But I have a 1 minute and 45-second clip. Talks a little bit about the rich people that's starting to leave out of the states. Let's check it out, right?
Okay.
Some New Yorkers are thinking of packing up and getting out already. They call it the Mamdani migration. The New York Post is reporting that real estate agents are getting flooded with phone calls. Luxury real estate agent Ryan Serhant told the Post that his number one job will be moving people from New York to Florida again. And based on the results, clients are going to hold off on making any kind of investment in New York City. Lydia Moynihan knows all about this. She's a financial correspondent at the Post and broke this story. Lydia, I had a bunch of my friends over the weekend when they saw this coming saying, oh my goodness, I wish I sold last year. This is a nightmare. How could this be happening? So is this Mamdani migration a real thing?
I think it is, and I hate to say that. Look, what's not surprising is it in the wake of him clinching that Democratic nomination that wealthy people, really anyone with sort of a vested interest in the city, was exploring options of where they could move. Florida, of course, is a well-trodden path at this point. But what's much more concerning is the fact that people are actually walking away from deals. So people who were either in process of signing and purchasing an apartment or, potentially buying something in the future, they're walking away. And so for the next 4 months, I think we're going to see a decrease in the investment in New York City. Anyone with a business is going to be a little hesitant. And of course, that's going to be amplified for 4 years if Mamdani is elected. And of course, Laura, the irony is that these are the very people who he needs to be paying for all of these programs. I mean, the things he's outlined sound like Doge cuts, right? Money, millions of dollars to transgender surgeries for minors. And there's really no way that he can do that if, as I think people will, they're going to pack up and leave.
So,
oh, sorry about that.
That said a lot of different things that made a lot of sense to me, man. I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but you can go back to President Trump and Hillary when they sparred in the debate. And he even said, you're upset at me, but your donors and your special interests use the same tax breaks that I do. Yeah. And he totally killed her, right? But here's the thing. Anybody that followed Zoran Mamdani's agenda during the election, okay, and they got in behind this guy, like, did you totally forget the rich people know how to evade taxes?
Yeah, that's how they got rich.
That's exactly how they got rich, dude. So they're going to evade those taxes. They're going to run around them. They're going to find things. And I don't blame them for it, man. If that's the law, then figure out how to do it, because that's what we do. Country boy can't survive. Yep. That's things that we do. So I don't blame rich people for that, living in rural America as a regular old conservative, low-income person.
Work smarter, dude, not harder.
I got nothing against that. But, it really baffles me when it comes to the Democrats. And they're like, yeah, we're going to change the world. Like, you're a fucking idiot.
You can't. What's the meme? You can't even start a lawnmower.
Yeah. Absolutely. You can't. And if anybody, I got one final video, but I will say, and it's only a minute long. If you don't believe what it is that we're saying about the Islamic takeover, that's probably going to happen in New York City, because you already see it. They're already doing protests in the street and removing American flags. It won't be long. You'll hear the morning call for prayer to Allah. It's going to happen. Just look at Dearborn, Michigan. Just look at UK. Look at what's happened to anybody that's accepted things like that to happen within their nation. They come in, they take over. That's exactly what's going to happen. If you don't believe anything we have to say, the best thing I can tell you is, well, Charlie Kirk knew.
So before you pull that up, like you were talking about there, again, all this reminds me of Q drop 95. What happened in Saudi Arabia will happen here.
Absolutely.
And I think in the end, I don't know if you guys remember what went down whenever I can't think of his name. Invited all the people to his palace there in Saudi Arabia, locked the doors, and then they just kind of like seized all their shit, all their assets, and arrested them. And that's why Trump got the big sword dance, because I think Trump was a big part of that. That's why sacred sword dance. But I think we're going to see the same thing play out here in the United States before this is over. Is there's going to be a closed door moment, possibly, where maybe not like I'm figuratively speaking, like a closed door moment, that all this shit goes down and these arrests start happening and they seize all their assets, and next thing you know, they're freaking asses in Gitmo.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I'm baffled that anybody could vote for Zohran Mamdani out there in New York.
I don't think they did.
What do you mean?
Okay, so let me say this. All right, so with this whole thing, a lot of people were surprised that of all the Democrats that got elected.
I know what you're talking about. Okay,
but I think that so if you remember, right before this whole entire thing started up, was it Pam Bondi come out and Trump both come out and said that these elections will be monitored heavily?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so I think it was letting them cheat, getting the evidence on them because they were monitored. And then, like, if you remember when they were talking about Mamdani being elected, Trump came out and he's like, we'll take care of it. It's pretty much saying it's going to be taken care of. Like he had an ace up his sleeve. So I think all this was set up to let them cheat, let them win these spots, and then boom, evidence is going to come out.
Well, I can tell you, as far as I know, there was New Jersey bomb threats that went on during that day. There was, it? In Chester County, Pennsylvania, there was like 175,000 votes that were missing, and they had to go through this whole ordeal. We're like, oh, yeah, we found them. So yet again, you see a whole lot of questionable shit that was happening during this election.
With all this, like I was saying, like, them monitoring this election and watching it and letting them cheat. What's one of the big cases right now that we're looking at is the 2020 election fraud, the 2016 election, Russia collusion shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
And we're the goal is to prove that there was election fraud. What better way to prove election fraud than to let them cheat this election and then expose it now that Trump's in office?
That's the 2,000 mule shit right there.
Yeah,
it is. I've got a little something that goes along with that, but before we do, I do want to play that Charlie Kirk video talking about the threat of Islam and Marxism into the United States. I think people should hear that. But as far as what you're talking about, I think that even ties into that Sidney Powell stuff that we were talking about, Smartmatic and Dominion and the voting.
Yep.
And guess what? Smartmatic, did you know they're indicted? They're being sued by President Trump's DOJ.
And we talked. Didn't we talk about this last show or the show before that Dominion was bought by a Republican,
and it was bought by a Republican,
and it's being investigated now.
Absolutely, man. I finally found a video that went with it.
You guys get sick of winning yet?
Dude, All the chess pieces are moving.
It's too much.
Oh no, we can't take it. But here's Charlie Kirk on this real quick, and we'll end out the Mamdani deal.
But the spiritual battle is coming to the West, and the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yep. So there you go, man. That's some big stuff that's going on with what Charlie Kirk was saying. You're seeing a lot of that play out today with the Mamdani effect. You're seeing Islam move in. You're seeing it happen in the UK. You know, I mean, just absolutely mind-boggling the insight that and the foresight that Charlie Kirk had.
Oh yeah,
you know, blows my mind,
man.
It is. It is.
I mean, it's
so,
Charlie.
Oh Lord, yes, Lord, yes. There's so much stuff rallying around that, but I just really like to focus on his positive messages. You know, the guy definitely knows what he was talking about.
What you got on the shutdown? Anything?
Nothing much on the shutdown. As far as I know, it's still what, day 37. We're going on day 38, right?
This
so
is
38 or 38 days and counting, right?
Yep. This is the 38th day. I found this kind of interesting. I was, putting this show together last night, and I'd went to a USDA website, and at the top of their website, they have this disclaimer. Do you want to give that a read there, Parabellum, in yellow?
Yeah, it says Senate Democrats, I'll go with it, dude, have voted 14 times against reopening the government. This compromises not only SNAP, but farm programs, food inspection, animal and plant disease protection, rural development, and there it is, what we said earlier, rural development. They don't care about rural areas, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
And protecting federal lands. Senate Democrats are withholding services to the American people in exchange for health care for illegals. $1.5 trillion, I think, is what they're asking for. Gender mutilation and other unknown leverage points. And we all seen them. They all admitted it in the media.
Yep.
This is a leverage point for them.
I've got that on standby, ready to go with the leverage points. But yeah, like that just, I was like, heck yeah, USDA has that at the top of their website. You can go check it out if you want to. But the other thing,
another big thing about that is they voted for this 14 times to say no. When they have voted for this anywhere between 13 to 30 times, absolutely no issues as long as it was the Democratic president. This is the same clean CR bill that they have voted for and passed numerous times.
Yep.
They also never wanted to have shutdown before.
And they didn't. Now they're for it.
Yep, now they're for shutdown.
Seems like an agenda for midterms or maybe the Mamdani effect. Why were they doing it?
What is it? 61 days. If it goes 61 days, all these people will be can be fired. Not will be, but can be possibly be fired. Is that what it is?
I'm not sure. Let me look it up real quick.
If the shutdown lasts that long, if I'm not mistaken, that's what I'd seen. But anyway, before Biden, we had 17,194,000 people on SNAP. After Biden, we had 41,703,000.
Damn.
Yes.
On SNAP. And that was like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'd seen that was like within Biden's first 2 years that it jumped up that much.
Oh, yeah. Well, how many of those do you think are illegal immigrants? And how many of those do you think are handout American citizens that just are okay with living off the benefits of the United States government? And I understand that some people have to, so let's not take that out of context. Some people need it. Some people it is understandable. But I also want to say there are, how many people are just, that's their way of life. Mm-hmm. I'd imagine it's a high number.
Yep. Basically, you just seen about 25 million votes bought right there.
Absolutely bought votes, dude. They've been doing it since the 1900s.
Yeah.
I had made this post here. Let me move my screen around here a little bit. I'd made this post here, based off of that Biden 17 to 41 million. But I'd said, instead of screaming about millions of people losing their SNAP and food stamp benefits, which SNAP and food stamps the same thing, you should be asking why 42 million people are on those programs. The whole system, and like this is my take on it. The whole system was designed, like the economic system, to make the people dependent on government in order to ensure votes.
Yeah.
And keep them in power, allowing them to continue the corruption.
Yep.
They keep distracting you with government-funded propaganda like wars, attacks on U.S. soil, in order to install puppet government systems. Like, that's with the wars and stuff like that, to install puppet government systems in other countries, and to cover up their crimes and destroy evidence, which, that ties right back into 9/11, evidence against crimes, for crimes against humanity, which also the child trafficking and all that stuff is kind of what I was like really poking at there. There should be 42 million people on this program.
No.
If we could end the Federal Reserve and the IRS, plus back the American dollar by gold again, instead of pulling money out of thin air as the Fed does, because that's what they do. Like,
yeah,
we went over that on the show, how the Fed works. They just pull money out of thin air. There's no bank account attached to it. So back in the dollar by gold again, and bring back industry into the United States, which that's what Trump's doing right now, and using tariffs to fund similar, or to fund a slimmer government.
Yeah.
I think we'd see WIC, SNAP, and all those government programs, welfare and stuff like that. I think we'd see a decrease in the people who are on that.
Well, absolutely.
If we went to this, and by backing gold by the American dollar, you would see your dollar go further and have more purchasing power.
Well, I think you're right. The decrease in the value of the dollar, I think, is directly tied to a large portion of all of the government benefits and handouts that they give. And the value goes down.
And one of the things that people have to keep in mind with this 42 million people who are on these benefits, and don't get me wrong, there are people out there that need, like elderly people and stuff like that, who need these benefits, and truly disabled people who need these benefits.
Yes.
But there's people that take advantage of it. So within those 42 million people is a large number of people that abuse the system. People who are able to work but are too lazy. People who buy large amounts of cola and other food items only to sell them to get cash to buy drugs or other non-food items.
Yeah, there's not enough accountability within the system.
The Democrats,
and those people that you're talking about too, Hex, I mean, in my eyes, really, it's no different than being institutionalized. Somebody that stays in prison for so long and gets used to the system, they become dependent on it. They can't survive without it.
Exactly.
They don't know how to live in society.
Exactly.
To me, my big question was, and this is a crazy question, but I never understood
when you're done.
Why is the food stamp program not run like the Suboxone program? You're supposed to wean off that shit, right?
Good question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there
like I was saying pre-show, don't feed the bears.
Damn.
They forget how to survive, man.
How do you make
exactly right?
How do you make a food stamp version of Suboxone?
Well, you know what I mean? So like Suboxone, yeah. Like you would wean off of it, you know what I mean? So you would put those programs in place. You'd hold accountability to ensure that they have those jobs. Yes, they do that, but do they do it good enough? No, they don't. Oh, you got to put in a couple applications and this, that, and another, but how many people actually do it? And they still get the benefits anyways. I can tell you that happens a whole lot. I think a little more accountability within that program, which I think President Trump has tried to push before, and you get a lot of mixed, answers and results from that. But I think that would allow people to step up the ladder and do a little better and feel better about themselves. Will the mental health crisis decline? Hey, possibly. Maybe that's a side effect of getting out and living and providing and trying to use the help that you need and then work your way off of it. You know what I mean? Maybe that's how you grow.
Well, I mean, like there was a point in my life where I was on my wife and I and children were on food stamps and WIC and stuff like that. But we worked and bettered ourselves over a period of time and got off of that. We didn't need it anymore. It was good to have, like when we were at that point. And like I said, there's a lot of elderly people and people who are truly disabled or people who are just starting out that need that stuff. Yeah. And it pisses me off that there's people out there that take advantage of it and use their damn food stamp cards to buy food and cola and shit like that and sell it. And then in turn, take the money and buy, like I said, drugs and non-related food items. But the thing is, and this is what really pisses me off with this whole thing, is the Democrats are using the American people right now as leverage because they made the people dependent on these programs. And again, this is to this built their voter base, making these people dependent on this stuff. But, I have some hope in this because it looks like they're losing control and we're starting to see people's eyes open. Hopefully more people's eyes open, but that's my whole take on this, is what the whole is what they've done is just like build their voter base and make people dependent on this shit.
Yeah.
But as far as like using as leverage, I've got this pulled up.
Yes.
Do you want to give those a read?
Yeah, here we go. Martin Heinrich. Paying our troops gives the president more leverage. Bernie Sanders, you reopen the government and we lose our leverage. Chuck Schumer, every day gets better for us. Chris Coons, frankly, this is our only moment of leverage, and although a very unpleasant tool to use. Catherine Clark, there will be families that are going to suffer, but it is one of the few leverage times that we have. And Gallagher.
So,
go ahead.
Oh,
no, you're good.
I just thinking how many times you mentioned leverage in there just now.
Yeah,
man.
That's what I'm saying. They're using this as leverage. The Democrats are using this as leverage.
Yep.
And there you go, people. It's right out of their own mouth. It's their own words. So suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah,
that's the facts.
It reminds me of that video, where they were all reporting the same thing that we've talked about before, and all those squares of the news networks, they're reporting the liberal ideology, they're all saying the same thing. Well, they're still doing it, dude.
Yep.
And
kind of going back to what Hex was saying just a minute ago too. Number one, I mean, there's no shame in having to use the food stamp program.
That's right. No shame in using it.
But what Hex did, you used it exactly what it was designed to do.
Yep, it helped me get on my feet.
But they know the D's also know that there's a percentage of that population out there that if they keep this shut down long enough and basically just starve the people out, they're going to be able to promote their agenda.
Yeah, we got your vote too. We have your vote.
That's their leverage.
Yep.
That's the leverage. We have your vote. We have your vote with government benefits, and we have your vote with illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how they do it.
Yeah. You bend to our will, we'll give it back.
If anybody wants to call in and complain, Trump went as far as to make a whole big post about it. But at the end of the post, he's like, I'll just read this last part of the post. Here is crying Chuck Schumer's office number, 202-224-6542. So if you want to call in and complain and you're sick of this damn shutdown and you want your benefits back, call in, complain to Chuck Schumer. Call in and complain to your state representatives, your congressman. But definitely use that number and call into Chuck Schumer's office. I thought that was hilarious that Trump just posted Chuck Schumer's office number.
You kind of scared me there for a minute, Hex.
The troller in chief.
Call in and complain before you brought that slide up. I was like, oh no, this motherfucker's going to give my cell phone number
out. What else you got on that Parabellum? Big country?
That's pretty much it, man. Again, just to make sure people don't twist what it is that we said, just to we understand people do need benefits and they get a certain small amount that helps with the income that they're making. We do understand that and we get that. And we know that you're probably somebody that's trying to work and wean their way off and move up in life and try to get away from that. That's cool.
It was put in place for a reason. There, like I was saying about Hex, there's nothing wrong with using it, but use it for what it was designed for.
Yeah, don't abuse it.
Don't make it a way of life.
Right. That's why I relate it to the way of Suboxone treatment program. You know, some people, so many people that I know in the recovery field, they get on it and then they stay on it.
Yeah.
So, you're not getting sober, dude.
You've just traded one for another is all you've done.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
it's helped some people, you know. So
it has.
If you use it the way it was designed.
That's it.
I can think of people that it's helped, and I can think of a lot of people that I know that it's like Parabellum said that they've used it as a substitute.
Yeah, it's just a gateway into something else.
Yep.
Absolutely, man. And that's the way that I see food stamps run in this country. And that's the way that I see how the Democrats use that as, keyword of the day, leverage to be able to garner your vote. Okay. If you're one of them people and you're going to vote blue, you know, there's a good chance that you may vote blue on that. Maybe not for a senator, maybe for a governor in your state.
We had, with this shutdown, we've had some airport kind of stuff that's came out here recently. I think this was the other day I'd seen this. When I came home. I'd actually seen it on CBS News, but I clipped this Fox article from it. FFA slashes air traffic by 10% across 40 high volume markets as government shutdown continues. So there's like flight cancellations, flight delays, and stuff like that that's going on right now because these people aren't getting paid. So and I don't think the whole incident in Louisville was because of this, shutdown. I think it was more actual technical difficulties with the plane.
It was, but you know as well as I do what they're going to try to push it back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll get into some of that in just a minute with the Louisville plane crash. But one of the things this reminded me of was, let me pull this up here. Hold on one second. Move my screens around again so I can see what I'm looking at here. But Reuters had put this out, exclusive U.S. orders 10% flight cuts and major U.S. airports due to shutdown. So this made me, and I don't know if this connects or not, but what I've got highlighted in blue, we're going to get into a little bit later in the show with my fellow Americans, and certain laws have been lifted. But one of the key things that I was pointing out in this, if you follow from that article over to the right side of the screen, the green, that I've got highlighted. I'll read the whole red part of it too, but arrest, capture of more senior public officials on POTUS order, a state of temporary military control will be. Let me hold on one second. My screen's all right. So a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition. So we're seeing this stuff with the planes right now, and we're seeing them get, flight delays and flight cancellations and stuff like that. And then Q saying in that to prevent extradition. So that kind of made me think of Q Drop 34. Is this what's happening right now? Are they doing this to keep people from fleeing the United States? Well, not people, but, certain officials who are trying to escape to get out of this, to claim asylum in another country. Like, that just kind of popped in my head when I'd seen that with these planes.
There was something I can't remember. There was actually an incident. I can't remember who it is, but I remember seeing it in my feed. Some political person that went overseas. I'll have to look into it a little deeper, but I know that there's been an example of this that happened already. Went overseas and to try and escape extradition, but they did before this started happening. They were able to extradite. But that's before what you're speaking about has happened, up to the 10%.
Yeah. So like
possibly.
Yeah, like I'm saying right now, I think like a lot of this we're seeing with the airports and these air traffic controllers not being paid and other airport workers not being paid. I think this is all maybe possibly part of stopping people from fleeing.
Yeah.
and trying to escape justice.
Put some raids in place with a 10% cut.
Yep.
Yeah, you got that, and then on top, on top of that, you also got what makes this so horrible is outside of political stuff is that this is the Thanksgiving holiday season, and this is when a lot of travel's getting ready to go down, dude.
Yes.
So that's going to be devastating for the FFA and everybody if this government shutdown continues. You're going to have a lot of pissed off people, not only in your country, but around the world. They can't make it to their families for the holidays. So America being the number one melting pot in the world, that's going to cause a lot of big, huge issues. But as far as the 10%, today it starts at a 4% reduction, and that increases to 6% by November 11th, 8% by the 13th, and a full 10% will be in effect a week from now.
So we're just putting more pressure on as we go.
Yeah, it's just going to continue to build up. It's going to progressively get worse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, if they continue this for another 7 days, it's going to be at full max capacity. It's going to be.
So did anybody find what I was talking about with 60 or 61 days? That
I did. I looked that up, but it seemed that it wasn't really 100% true from what I've seen. A lot of people they get it mixed up. So
okay, well, yeah, I heard
there's a temporary 30-day stay, and then there's a and then at 60 days, it's not. What I can say is you're correct. But it's not permanent. It's only temporary that they will lose their jobs temporarily.
But that's all we really need is temporarily.
Yeah, it's a temporary shutdown. It really is. So, yeah.
But
on a side note, I know you wouldn't notice any 10% cut in air traffic with some of the pics I sent you earlier this week, would you, Hex?
Yeah, the chemtrails and
man, I'm telling you, look like an air show over there, dude.
That's something that's been on my mind here lately because we've seen the chemtrails. Like we've had clear skies here for how long now?
Man.
And then like like you said, they disappeared. And then all of a sudden we're starting to see them come back. And I'd noticed it a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And I was like wondering. And then you sent me that shit, and I'm like, is this chemtrails or are they like dropping poison on us, trying to kill us? Like. What's
I thought
the deal?
It was awful peculiar with the three that I showed you. Those guys, all three traveling same altitude, side by side, 3 separate airliners. They're not going to let commercial airliners, passenger planes travel that close together.
Yeah, they're kind of heavy.
And Hex, if you have those pics, feel free to throw them up on the screen, man. I have no problem whatsoever.
1 second,
absolutely. Go ahead and get those. While you're getting those, I can go ahead. We were talking a little bit about the shutdown. And I do have a couple of President Trump's responses of what he said about the Trump shutdown and the government shutdown, and his response to should we use the nuclear option on the filibuster. So let's start right there. That'll give you a little bit of time. This is Trump in favor of the nuclear option to defeat the filibuster. If you guys think so.
The way to do it for the Republicans is to terminate the filibuster. They call it the nuclear option. This is the second form of nuclear. Very good, very good. This is a good form. This is not a bad form. I would have been in favor of that a long time ago. But the Democrats are going to do that. And most of you will admit the Democrats are going to do that. So why aren't we doing it? And I think only a foolish person would be against that, especially when you realize that these are crazed people. These people are absolutely crazed, Trump derangement syndrome, whatever it may be. And I am totally in favor of terminating the filibuster, and we would be back to work within 10 minutes after that vote took place, and lots of other good things would happen. And it doesn't make any sense that a Republican would not want to do that. Here's some of the things that we'd pass if we terminated the filibuster. Voter ID, no mail-in voting, no cash bail, no men and women's sports, no welfare for illegals. You could go on and on. This is 2 pages of things we'd do if you did that. Without it, I don't know that you passed anything because you can't deal with them. They're really irrational. They really are. But I was happy to see that a tremendous liability to this country, a woman that made herself rich in this country, Nancy Pelosi, has quit, and she'll be out of here pretty soon. And that I consider that to be a great asset for America, getting her out. Yeah, please.
Yep.
Are you froze up, Parabellum?
Yeah, I think he's froze. I've got these. Yep, he'll be. He may come back in here.
Just to touch on what he played there just now, though, and I kind of get both sides of that, why they want to get rid of it and why another reason why you shouldn't get rid of it. And that is because if there's ever a shift in power and they get rid of the filibuster, it could come back to bite us in the ass.
Yeah, it's a touchy situation with that filibuster.
Yeah.
So, like I'm like you,
and especially seeing with the direction that some of these midterms has went with some of these Democrats getting back in power in these states. I mean, that's a red flag to me. Anyway.
Trump, he had posted on Truth. Let me see if I can pull that up here real quick. Let's see, Truth Social. While we're waiting on Parabellum. All right, home. Let's look at Donald Trump's post here. Well, anyway, he was talking about that filibuster, and he was talking about if we don't do it, then the Democrats are going to use it.
Yeah. I mean, he made a lot of good points right there, especially just off of that list that he was reading, all the things that would happen with just within minutes if they were to get rid of it. But that's what I'm saying is if there was ever a shift in power, say after Donald Trump's term, God forbid that it falls back into Democratic hands. But if it does, then the precedence has already been set.
Yep.
And what we're trying to do, they can use it against us. Hey,
yeah, exactly.
Sorry about that, guys. Over temperature error. Here we go again.
We were right talking about the filibuster there, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The filibuster. So I did have another video. Hopefully I don't over temperature error. But, yeah, there's a lot of mixed results that are going with that. You got a lot of Republicans that are fighting against it, said, no, we don't need to do this because that'll allow the Democrats to do it. But Trump does make a good point.
He does.
It's pretty simple. They're going to use it.
Yeah.
You got to fight fire with fire sometimes. And if you do that, then before the midterms happen, you could probably get a bill in there to be able to opt out the nuclear option before they get a chance to use it. To me, that makes sense. Here's some of the things, though, from President Trump on a short 30-second clip. Hope the God it plays. This is some of the things that he said that until this government opens back up, this is what we're missing out on.
Here's some of the things that would pass if we terminated the filibuster. Voter ID, no mail-in voting, no cash bail, no men and women's sports, no welfare for illegals. You could go on and on. This is 2 pages of things we'd do if you did that. Without it, I don't know that you pass anything because you can't deal with them. They're really irrational. They really are. But I was happy to see that a tremendous liability to this country, a woman that made herself rich in this country, Nancy Pelosi, has quit. And she'll be out of here pretty soon. And I consider that to be a great asset for America.
He couldn't help. He just got to kill her again, dude.
He's going to bash her for a while here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't blame him because she was absolutely horrendous to him.
But what I was saying before you cut out there, well, go ahead with this, Hex.
Chemtrails.
Yeah. I was actually in Beckley, West Virginia whenever I took this picture, and you can see right there 3 distinct trails side by side. Now, I know you can't see this in the pic, but whenever I was watching it personally, that was 3 separate aircraft that all 3 started making trails. Same heading, same altitude, flying that close together. That's not passenger planes. That's not commercial airliners.
And it's kind of funny too. Like I'll go ahead and pull this next one up you sent me, but it's kind of funny too that
this is 30 minutes later. Look what those trails turned into.
Yep.
It's like oil on water.
And everybody's like, "Oh, those are just clouds."
No, I watched these clouds get made, people.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are not just clouds.
That's not stratus clouds.
So contrails. If you watch a jet go over, contrails are real short. Like they dissipate right after the.
Yeah, within seconds.
Chemtrails stretch for miles across the sky.
Yeah. Now, I know these 2 pics that I sent you, Hex, these were 30 minutes apart, and I didn't get to take any more because I was driving a truck at the time. But These hung around for a lot longer than just 30 minutes. We're talking about hours that I've
Yeah,
seen
they do.
these
And
three trails.
it's kind of funny now that we've got like we seen this stuff start revving back up here within the past few weeks, and now we got this big storm system coming over us.
Just what I was getting ready to say.
Yep, it's
They
no
building it
coincidence,
up?
people. It's no coincidence.
Are they building it up?
It's no coincidence. It's weather manipulation. Hell, you had Florida pass a law that any plane with weather modification equipment is not allowed to land in Florida. So, I mean, that right there tells you that weather modification equipment on planes is real, and these chemtrails are real.
Oh, it's definitely real. I mean, look at the Rainmaker Company.
Yep.
MTG was pushing that shit as well. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Pushing big.
What's that guy's name? Augustus Derrico, I think. That owns Rainmaker.
Yep.
Yeah,
down in
Texas. It's out there.
Is it in Texas? Is that where it was at?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's real, people. What we're talking about. They're doing it on a smaller scale. The company that Big Country was referring to, but you got to think you got government funding, years of research. This is a much larger scale. They manipulate the weather. This is why we have the storms we've had. This is why we had the clear, good skies here lately. This is why, like, the weather's been beautiful lately, and you've not seen these streaks going through the sky. And then all of a sudden, you see these streaks going through the sky again, and then now look where we're at. We're in an eye of a storm.
Yep.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, my wife was telling me we got tornado watches for us this evening.
Yes, Southern Kentucky.
Yep.
Actually, some of those counties that Ryan Hall was mentioning when you first pulled him up, that's some of the southern counties in Kentucky, Tennessee border that are under tornado warnings and watches.
Oh wow.
Speaking of Ryan Hall, he's let's see what he's doing here. Oh, he's still on Nashville, so
still on Nashville right now.
Yep. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to peek in on it real quick.
Another big thing that we got going on, man. Have you guys seen about the what's going on with the tariffs and the Supreme Court awaiting a decision to see if President Trump could keep his tariffs in place?
So yeah, I'd seen a little bit about that, not a whole lot. Kind of busy today.
There's a huge battle going on right now. So it's been pushed up to the Supreme Court, and the Democrats are trying to stop President Trump's tariffs. Every single deal that he's made up until this day, they're trying to stop it. And something I can tell you is that if they do succeed in that, and the Supreme Court does say that he exceeded his power, you've got to think about the devastating effect that's going to have on our economy. Because there's trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars that are at stake.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking the Supreme Court's going to side with us. They generally have every single time. But here's a 50-second response to President Trump and what he has to say about those tariffs and what the Supreme Court has to say on November 16th. Keep your eye on that, guys. It's going to be a big one.
Before the Supreme Court issues a ruling, it could be several weeks. Are you going to lay out any new additional tariffs before?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to hope that we win. I can't imagine that anybody would do that kind of devastation to our country. You know, we'd have to pay back trillions of dollars. We've taken in trillions. We haven't taken in billions. We've taken in trillions of dollars. We've made trade deals based on that give us, as an example, European Union, $950 billion. Japan, $650 billion. South Korea, $350 billion. Without this, we're not talking about that kind of money. And they're okay. They're satisfied. They love us. I just left. They all love us. So it's not like we're such bad people. But they were doing it to us until I came along.
So that's huge, dude.
Yeah.
What's going on there? You know, go ahead.
Question to you, Parabellum. As far as having to pay that money back, and I may not be clear on this, I may have misunderstood what little bit that I did get to watch on it. Are they wanting him to have to pay that back because he's taking in tariff money to a government that's currently shut down? Is that correct?
No, what it is every single deal that he made, what they're saying is that President Trump overstepped and overseeded his authority to be able to implement tariffs from what was it, the 1974 Tariff Act that was created that we spoke about in the last show. Was it Reagan? I can't remember who it was. Created that act. So they're saying that he overstepped his bounds and that he actually did not have the authority to create those deals with Japan or the Philippines or Saudi Arabia or any of the countries that he's made. And he's taken in trillions of dollars, right? So what they're saying is if the Democrats win this, then he'll have to take all that money we've already received for tariffs, and some of it we've dispersed to be able to cover SNAP benefits and pay the military. And then now we have to come up with that money and pay them back.
So I guess my question to you would be, if he overstepped his boundaries, what would be the proper channels to go through that he didn't to put those tariffs in place?
That's
what
exactly
what are they saying he overstepped?
It was Carter who was president then, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the 70s that we were talking about.
Well, maybe not Carter. It was who we speak about.
You said Reagan.
Reagan
had that was a big, but you said like the 70s. Reagan didn't get elected until 1980.
Oh, the 80s. My bad. I misspoke. It was
okay. Because Carter was like 76.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I think it was the Reagan Tariff Act. So that's what initially became the catalyst that allowed presidents to do executive decisions on tariffs. Big, huge battle that goes with that whole topic of discussion. But so they're basically
wondering where it is. At what point did he supposedly step out of bounds?
They're saying that the president doesn't have the authority to basically implement those tariffs because there's no precedence. There's no reason. There's nothing that happened as a huge emergency for it to be able to happen. So, of course, the Republicans, we're going to say, yes, we're in emergency.
We used to fund our government on tariffs. We used to fund the United States on tariffs.
Yeah,
at one point in history.
We have always paid more, 3 times more money, or we've supplied the money to multiple nations. It's always us who has to foot the bill. And then if you look at like Wegovy and all of the economy, everything's so much more expensive in America when you compare it to other nations. So what it is that, it's President Trump realigning the chessboard on the economy. Yeah. And it has to go through and up to the Supreme Court. That's basically where it's going to go. And on November 16th, that's going to be a huge ruling, guys. Okay. So what I will tell you is the Supreme Court asked some severe questions. And it didn't sound so great, but we do know that we have the Supreme Court's favor. It didn't sound really good for President Trump. They were asking the hard questions. But if anybody knows me, I love to ask the hard questions. That doesn't mean that I disagree with you. So I think it's going to go okay for us. Yeah. But, however, if the Supreme Court shoots it down, you're going to see the American economy tank. And this is what this is what I believe COVID was in president's first term. Democrats, as far as I know, they funded Wuhan, Anthony Fauci. I believe they used COVID to unleash upon Trump's economy and destroy it. This is their other way of trying to attack President Trump.
Basically a financial pandemic.
Yeah. If they can destroy his tariffs, they can destroy.
We'll get into some of that here in just a minute too.
Yeah.
That's what I think they're trying to do ultimately at the end of that one. So it's a nasty process going on right now. So this is like COVID 2.0. They're just doing it financially with tariffs.
Yep.
We had, we were talking about this earlier at the top of the show, the Louisville plane crash. Muhammad Ali Airport. I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but there was like a little bit of a conflict between Muhammad Ali and Trump around Trump's first term. Trump ended up giving Muhammad Ali a pardon, but there was like some big conflict between Trump and Muhammad Ali, and it's kind of interesting that this happened at Muhammad Ali Airport. I don't know if it connects, maybe not. A couple of things I've seen that people's been talking about was the number on the airplane. I think was what was that flight number?
2976.
Yeah, 2976. A lot of people are saying that flight number is the same exact amount of people who died during 9/11 attacks. And I've looked into that. Yeah. And they're not really wrong and they're not really right. I don't think because there's like I don't know. I mean, maybe they are right, but I've looked at this and there's a lot of back and forth between the exact number of people who died during 9/11, and it goes from 29, but it does go from what I've seen. It goes from 2976 to 2977. So that's kind of interesting there. And then it being Muhammad Ali Airport. And Trump and Muhammad Ali had this whole big thing, and Trump ended up pardoning him, and Muhammad Ali spoke badly of Trump for a little bit there, but they had this big phone call meeting. I'd watched a video on it last night, and they come to the agreement that, well, I don't know. I'll have to post that link later, but that's awesome. But you come up with a good one.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say, man. You can do such so many different plays on numbers with stuff like that.
Yeah.
I sent Hex earlier this week, 29 minus 76 is 47. Donald Trump's the 47th president. I mean, you can go 1,000 directions with that.
And then like the whole 76 in that too also like made me think of 1776, the revolution.
Yeah.
But there's a whole lot of stuff that's around this right now. I'm not really. The last I seen, it was actually an engine malfunction. The engine actually fell off the plane. Is the story I've seen lately. I've not really seen what other people who are digging into this have uncovered on it. There may be more to it than just the engine falling off the plane. This is one of them things we're going to have to see how it just kind of plays out and see what happens with it. But damn.
That's kind of what I'm gathering right now too, Hex, and just a little bit of insider information. Our corporate office, the company that I work for, we travel just within miles of this place, and a lot of those guys know some people that work there, and that's what they're hearing too. It was just the engine separated from the plane, plus it had just topped off with fuel. I mean, every gallon that it could possibly carry for a trip that it was getting ready to make to Hawaii. So that's the reason for the big fireball.
This is this UPS hub is one of the biggest, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's the world hub for UPS.
Yep.
It's like every 15 to 20 seconds they have a flight taking off. And if you ever travel into Louisville, like I said, I'm in there at least once every couple of weeks, and you can look up, man, and it's a madhouse.
I was watching. I will say this too. I was watching a recent episode of Absolute Storm and Absolute 1776, Absolute Redo 1776 on X if you want to go follow him. But he was talking about this on the show, and he was talking about how him and his wife were sitting in their living room that morning, and that plane always flies over their head. Like I guess they live right close to an airport there where they live at, and that plane always flies over. That he heard that plane going over that morning, him and his wife, and he said he turned to his wife and said, "It's really high pitched sounding. It's like there's something wrong with it." And then later on that day, we seen that. So
damn.
And again, like the mechanical failures, like a lot of stuff I've looked at is like it's something that it was an accident waiting to happen because shit had went wrong.
Yeah.
So all this stuff around that, like take it at what you will, whether it be the flight number, all the things that tie around it, Muhammad Ali, take it at what you will. We're just putting this information out there. Just, kind of want to toss it to you guys and let you discern it however you want to discern it. But I
didn't know Absolute was a Kentucky boy. So he's from Louisville?
No, he's not. No, he's further down south. Parabellum's got some breaking news, but he's further down south. He's like North Carolina is where he's from.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it flies over his house. But I seen you had some breaking news there, Parabellum.
Definitely, man. Got a little bit of news. I was scrolling through X. Just came out in the last hour. Senator John Thune is holding the Senate in session through the weekend, infuriating Democrats. So they listened to President Trump, who put out, he said, "Get it done. I'm done talking to you Republicans. If you do not nuke this filibuster, if you do not come to a solution, I'm going to ream your asses," basically. So John Thune is now holding the Senate in session through the entire weekend. Here's a little video clip of that going down. seconds.
So we got hostages now?
We do. We're taking them back hostage. Sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. Let's see what comes out
on the next legislative day.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that when the Senate completes its business today, it stand adjourned until 12 noon on Saturday, November the 8th, that following the prayer and pledge, the journal proceedings be approved today, the morning hour be deemed expired, the time for the two leaders be reserved for their use later in the day, and the Senate be in a period of morning business with senators permitted to speak therein for up to 10 minutes each.
Without objection.
Madam President, if there's no further business to come before the Senate, I ask that it stand adjourned under the previous order following the remarks of Senator Cassidy.
Without objection. Senator from Louisiana.
And it's done, ladies and gentlemen. So they are keeping them in. And I imagine if they do not want to come to a solution, we're just going to keep you in there for another day. And if you don't want to come to a solution, we're going to keep you in there for another day.
So I wonder, like,
pack the bag.
I'd made a post about this is based off of a news article I seen that the shutdown could possibly end this week. Is it looking like that with this?
Well, it's a possibility. This is the first time that you see Republicans actually fight fire with fire. That's President Trump lighting a fire under their ass. I imagine that's where it came from. And they said, well, we got to do something. So now they're ready to probably take on a 40-hour let's stay awake role, 48-hour, maybe 72 hours, whatever it takes in order for the Democrats to cave. We're just going to keep you sitting at your chairs doing your job. So we'll see what happens out of this. I know that there was a whole lot of discrepancies going on with that. As far as the shutdown, the Democrats asked them to extend 1 year of subsidies for Obamacare, basically trying to extend the Obamacare. And we know now, knowing what we know now, that absolutely has just bankrupted America. It's been a bad idea since the get.
Yeah.
So they're not going to get it. They're not going to get their $1.5 trillion for illegals. I don't believe they're due. And they're going to just go ahead and keep the government open throughout the weekend and send a big old fuck you to the Democrats.
I love it.
Back to the UPS plane here. I've got a clip here that you guys got to check this. I'm sure a lot of people seen this, but when I seen this, I was like, holy crap. But let's take a look at this real quick. Of the plane as it's crashing. Oh, wait a minute. Let me remove.
That shit got real.
Yeah.
Right.
Dramatic.
One second here. Let me back it back up and let's have that stage. That guy's like GTA'd it out of there.
Man, the second dude out of that building, he shit himself. You could tell the way he was running.
Yeah. the guy in the truck.
Yeah.
It was like GTA shit going on here. I'm getting out.
Yeah, that's a bad deal, though, man.
That's about all I've got on that. And prayers out to all the families involved in that, loved ones. But we're going to get into some. Have you got something else, Parabellum? Before are you there? Did you freeze?
No, I'm here.
You were so still. I thought you were a mannequin.
No, I was reading into my other dual screen monitor. I was looking over here trying to see what was going on.
Have you got something else before we jump into this next big segment of the show?
I do. I'll just go real quick.
All right. So,
yeah,
I'm gonna lemonade.
Oh, you got lemonade. Okay. Oh, I got you. So I'll go real quick.
Be right back.
Elon Musk just announced his support for Warren Buffett's plan to eliminate the deficit in 5 minutes. Just pass a law that says anytime there's a deficit more than 3% of GDP, all sitting members of Congress are ineligible for re-election. So I think this might have tied something, big country. It might have tied something into what Hex 7 was talking about earlier about the 61 days.
Yeah.
But this is something that Elon Musk just recently came out with. And he said, let's go ahead and give our support for this. And then if the GDP is any less than 3% or any more than 3%, then any sitting member of Congress is available for re-election. So they're trying to change that law right now. That's something Elon Musk is going for. But aside from that, the one thing I wanted to get into, so something big that happened here recently is the Trump RX plan that went down.
Yep.
He announced that Wegovy prices and Zepbound and semaglutide and tirzepatide, anybody that follows those weight loss programs or type 2 diabetes, medications that you've been using and they haven't been available on Medicaid, or maybe it's been too expensive for you. Well, President Trump just announced here recently that it's going to go from $1,100 a month and it's going to drop down to about $350 a month, and it's going to be eligible for Medicaid. And people who have Medicaid, you may even just have to do a $50 copay.
Yeah.
I mean, so here's
I was hearing it as low as an eighth of the price, in some cases a fifth of the price. Is that right?
That's correct. It depends on which one you get, how high your dose is. There's a lot of different.
Is that Novo Nordisk? I think was the company that covers all those name brands you just mentioned.
Yes, that was that was Novo Nordisk. Okay. That was one, and Eli, he was the one. So that's Ozempic and Mounjaro. They're going down. I do have a quick little video. It tells you a little bit of the details of everything that's going down with this. Maybe you know a lady, maybe you know a guy in your family, maybe they tried it, maybe they didn't, maybe they're worried. There's a whole lot of questions surrounding this. I'm going to tell you from the Republican side and the Democrat side. Republicans question it because they say, hey, there's health risks and it could hurt our people. You know, you got RFK on file basically saying, you know, I have problems with Ozempic because it caused stomach cramps and stomach problems. But yet here he is. He's standing and he's supporting for this deal going on. Yep. There's a lot of questions around this, but I will say for anything, number one, the chronic disease to Americans is chronic obesity, which stimulates all those diseases. If there's no horrible negative side effects and those things are very, very low, me personally, I would say, you know what? You could die from a nose surgery. Okay?
Yeah, man, there's health risk with a damn Tylenol. Come on.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, Tylenol killing people. So we all know there's risks, but here's a quick little video giving you details about what actually is going down with that deal that happened with President Trump RX and the most favored nation pricing.
It's major news tonight involving those popular and expensive weight loss drugs. President Trump striking a deal to lower the cost. Here's Mary Bruce.
President Trump tonight announcing a deal with pharmaceutical companies to drastically lower the prices of wildly popular weight loss drugs, Wegovy and Zepbound, making them available to millions of Americans who right now can't afford them, including many seniors on Medicare.
It's a triumph for American patients that will save lives and improve the health of millions and millions of Americans.
These drugs, known as GLP-1s, now cost more than $500 a month for people without insurance. Under Trump's new plan, starting in early next year, that price would fall to $350 a month and down to $250 within the next 2 years. The drugs will also soon be covered for Medicare patients with severe obesity, though not for everyone who is simply overweight.
Copays for Medicare patients will be as low as $50. This is tremendous savings.
And qualifying patients on Medicaid could end up paying virtually nothing.
And you can guarantee the American people that once these costs go down, they're going to stay down.
There may be other manufacturing issues that can drive prices up and down, but I feel very confident that now we've set the standard. I don't think future administrations will vary on that.
And David, Dr. Oz was also involved in a scary moment here in the Oval Office. Just as this announcement was going on, an attendee collapsing. Dr. Oz and others then rushing in to help. Tonight we are told the man, a guest of one of the drug companies, is doing great and that there's nothing to be concerned about.
All
David.
Right. That's reassuring, Mary. Thanks.
So there you go. Unfortunately, that's ABC. Sorry that I had to bring that. You know, I don't really like to bring ABC or MST.
Okay.
But it did have information, and I double-checked and fact-checked with a lot of the Republican networks, and that's exactly what it is. Grok AI, everything, that's exactly what's going down with that bill, man.
Yeah. I wonder if that was actually staged or if it actually like was legit.
Well,
I just think the news was so great. He was absolutely floored, man.
That's a good point. I like it.
Totally floored. I've got so many. The guy's name, he's the executive vice president, Gordon Findlay of Ozempic. That is who had the medical emergency, if anybody was wondering about that. Gordon Findlay passed out. Here's one thing I say. So there's a lot of conspiracy theories. There's a lot of stuff going out there. You see a lot of videos of people combobulating everybody that's fell out and passed out, and a lot of them that are complicit with Ozempic. And that's very weird to me. Now, what does my logical mind tell me? From another perspective, I can tell you, in my military service, there was many of times that you have to show up and you have to stand at the position of attention where your knees are locked straight and you have posture, right? You have good posture. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen perfectly healthy soldiers, infantrymen, true muscle freaking soldier guys, you know what I mean? Just like me, 11 Bravo infantrymen just next to me, fall out and eat the fucking dirt. So, to me, I understand the one side, but I also understand, if you just stand straight for a little bit, you're trying to do good posture, and you're not used to that, anybody can pass out.
Yeah. What position did you say that guy held with Ozempic again?
He was the executive vice president, Gordon Findlay.
I'm going to say whenever they said 350 down to 250 in 2 years, he said, "You're going to do what?"
He said, "Oh, shit."
He was out.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Killing me, man.
I'll never financially recover from this.
The funny thing about that, as far as looking at it from a financial perspective, is it's pretty insane. So you see over in UK, you could already get this drug for 1,000% less money, right? You could already pay $350 in $250, $150 for Ozempic over in UK or any other country. But here in America, you've been paying $1,100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Depending on how high your dose got. Maybe it was $350, maybe it was $500. And then when you worked up, because that's how this program works, anybody that's ever done that, you work up your dose. It costs more money because you need more milliliters, right? Up to 20, up to 35. So the money goes up, and it's been very, very expensive. But it's just crazy to me, man. That, oh my gosh, that passed out like that.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing that could have possibly happened. And I'm sure you've seen the memes, where President Trump, he's standing there like, this motherfucker.
I want to give a shout out to Jake. Jake LeMaster, who's watching us over there. He hearted the show over on one of our places we're streaming. He's a good friend of mine.
Jake?
He's
Thanks,
like a
Jake.
son to me.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, Jake, for watching tonight. Appreciate it. Glad to have you on. Checking out Same Cues, Different Views. But
bring a friend next time, man.
Yeah.
One last thing on that Wegovy. I did have to actually add this.
I was getting ready to say.
Oh my gosh, man. So there was nobody like more ecstatic.
I thought you said you had more on it.
Dude, there was nobody that I could think of. And I seen this in a post. It's absolutely, get ready, okay? Because it's me. But here we go. There's nobody more ready for
we're going to guess who this is?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
You have to guess who this is. So
all right,
let's see if we can figure out who it is. Nobody's more happy about the price reduction in Mounjaro and Wegovy, semaglutide, and tirzepatide than this person. Name that person, ladies and gentlemen.
Wrong answers only, guys. Wrong answers only.
Wrong answers only.
Well, mine's gonna be a wrong answer because I'm gonna say Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley.
Oh wait, that's not Kirstie Alley.
That's not Kirstie Alley. Hold on, let me see if I can help you out. Yeah.
Oh, what the hell? Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels, dude, made a recent interview.
The storm fell upon her and pounded her ass.
The storm has destroyed the Stormy, ladies and gentlemen. And I know we're being a little rough here, but my God, how far the cookie crumbles. Good Lord. Showed up after all that bullshit with Trump and trying to sue him and then have to end up paying his litigation. You know,
That was
all
beautiful.
kinds of nasty. Life just really showed up and kicked you in the ass. But the one thing you do have to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen, we go be.
Yes. Bring up the other
My
one.
lady's over here spiking me like, you son of a bitch.
Where she go one, she go we go V.
Bring up the most recent pick again.
Yeah, here we go.
And the other one.
Yep.
Man, life comes at you quick.
Hey, it does. Hey, if that doesn't sell Wegovy, I don't know what does, dude. Oh my God.
How old is Stormy?
Oh my God. Let's look it up here real quick.
Like I didn't think she was that old.
Hold on 1 second.
Like if she's older, I can
46 years old.
I'm 50 years old.
46, bro.
Her hands
Holy
wore out
crap.
3 bodies.
Holy crap.
Yes. I'm telling you, life really kicked her ass. You know what that looks like? That looks like a whole bunch of lies, manipulation, deceit. See, these are the things. This is the toll it has on your body when you live a nasty life.
I don't know, maybe the lack of adrenochrome.
Yeah.
Could
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Adrenochrome, that could be. What was it? You talk about flying in the sky. What was it? Maybe she ran into one of those.
Yeah. Looked to me like Chips Ahoy and Bad Decisions.
I'm
Chips
telling you,
Ahoy and bad decisions.
I've seen this post and I was like, oh my God, somebody connected Wegovy to Stormy Daniels' most recent appearance. Screw it.
Wow.
Let's put it on the show, dude.
Oh shit. I'm gonna try to guide you guys through this next little bit, give some commentary if you got it, but let me get this ready here. But we're gonna go into some Red October.
Red room, son. Yes. That looked like red alert right there.
Oh wait, I see. I got my curio cabinet door open. Let me close that real quick.
That made all the difference.
It did.
That's where
it did.
Dave's not here. Dave's not here.
that's where I keep all my collectibles, my 80s collectible toys and stuff like that in there. But anyway, we're gonna get to some
Did
Red
that
October.
stop anybody from stealing it or the weapons you may possess?
That's where he keeps his Stormy Daniels action figure, man.
Yeah, exactly. Both sizes.
Complete with Kung Fu grip.
But we're gonna get into some Red October here. A lot of people think since October's over that Red October is done. No, actually, I should have pulled that anniversary of the Q drop up of that, but anyway, we'll just go with what we have. But Red October is not done, so we're going to jump into some Red October here. There's still more that ties around Red October, but as we kick this off, we're going to play this probably maybe one last time. We may end up pulling it up again, but we're going to play this little intro to it here. So let's let's take a look at it.
Red October! Yes!
I came across this post from Newsflash 17 on X.
Trump is our president, and the accountability face is coming. Ice in the streets, illegals being deported. America is back.
Trump is the bodyguard of Western civilization. You want to talk about a fighter, a walking fire? He's an absolute savage.
He knows that this is much bigger than him. It's about the American people. They have no idea what they have.
Ice in the streets, illegals being deported. America is back. Trump is here to drain the swamp. You don't like it, get the fuck on. We are tired of violence in the streets. The army's here. You're gonna regret taking Charlie's life. Red October. end. Trump is our president, and the accountability phase is coming. Ice in the streets, illegals being deported. America is back. Yeah! Trump is here to drain the swamp. You don't like it, get the fuck on. We are tired of violence in the streets. The army's here. You're gonna regret taking Charlie's life. He was one of the best.
This is my boomstick.
Uh-oh.
I came across this post from Newsblast 17 on X, and the post he had put out was, "Why is the NG called up across 12 cities? Trust your president. God bless patriots." And he's got a picture of a map there. And what I think he was really getting at with this was Q3, because that's straight out of Q3. So anyway, he's got this picture of the map. And let's take a look at the map. Where has the National Guard been deployed? States where the National Guard has already been / could yet be deployed, and their governor's political stance. And then over to the left side of that map, you've got a legend. White, deployed. Yellow, halted. Purple, requested by governor. And pink, suggested by Trump. So you've got Portland, halted, which we found out that they are no longer halted. You've got San Francisco, which is suggested by Trump. You got Los Angeles, deployed. We've seen that back earlier this year. You've got Chicago, halted, which I don't think that's going to be halted very long. You've got St. Louis, suggested by Trump. You've got Memphis, which is deployed. You've got 3 locations in Louisiana. 2 are requested by governor, and 1 is suggested by Trump. You've got Baltimore, which is suggested by Trump. You've got Washington, D.C., which is deployed. And you've got New York City, which is suggested by Trump. So again, I think he was, well, I definitely know he was talking about Q3. And in Q drop 3, we can see that exactly what Newsblast 17 had posted was, why was the NG called up across 12 cities? Trust your president. Newsblast 17 was showing us that this map connects to drop number 3 from Q, which was made in 2017. There are 12 cities on this map. Some already have the National Guard, and some could possibly have the National Guard in the near future. Will this all be at the same time? I don't know. We'll have to see. But I found another small bit of interesting information that come to my attention the other day as I was scrolling through Facebook. But we'll talk about that in just a second. Because first, I want to remind everybody of a segment, or of a post that Rosie O'Donnell had made back a month or so ago. And just to refresh everybody's memory, let's take a look at that.
Black out the system. Black out the system. Black out the system. Black out the system.
Black out the system. I find that interesting, given I came across this website a few days ago. And this website is blackoutthesystem.com. And it has an event scheduled for November 25th through December 2nd. It says, "We are not asking, we are shutting it down. The largest economic blackout protest in U.S. history begins now." By the way, if you join in this, you get a free sticker. But in order to get the free sticker, we are shutting down the U.S. economy strategically and peacefully by removing our labor, our spending, and our financial support, forcing the system to listen. So I guess if you quit your job for a few days, don't show up for work, you'll get a free sticker. But he's also got a map, or the site also has a map down here that you can click on to show all the locations where this is going to take place. But now if you click on it, Google says This map is no longer available because it was moved to the trash. Please contact the owner to restore access. So the map is now gone. I just listened to October 20th episode of X22 Report, and this site makes more sense to me now. The National Guard have been or may be deployed on these 12 cities, which mirror key points of our infrastructure for economic flow. Just listen to what Dave had to say here.
Now, the other thing that we said before is I do believe Trump and the Patriots, they are now setting up the National Guard in strategic locations to outflank the deep state players. And once again, Endgame Macro explains, if you map where the National Guard deployments have actually happened or been proposed, such as Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Memphis, the court paused moves in Chicago and Portland, not any longer in Portland, and the possible extension to New York, Baltimore, New Orleans, St. Louis, and San Francisco, Oakland. It looks like a diagram of the country's operating system. Those dots fall almost perfectly on top of the infrastructure and logistics hubs that government and think tank studies repeatedly label as nationally critical. The big coastal ports of Los Angeles, Long Beach, New York, New Jersey, Oakland, Baltimore, and the lower Gulf terminals move most of the nation's containers, vehicles, and bulk cargo. The New Orleans Baton Rouge corridor is the choke point of the Mississippi, where barges carry much of America's grain and petrochemical exports. Portland anchors the Columbia Snake System, the country's largest wheat export route. Chicago is the nation's rail and intermodal nerve center. A third of all freight passes through it. Memphis, with FedEx's Super Hub, is the heartbeat of air cargo. Along the southern flank, Laredo and other border crossings are now essential to U.S. and Mexico manufacturing supply chains. And the D.C., Baltimore, Northern Virginia, New York corridor houses the government capital markets and digital infrastructure that DHS calls national critical. When federal planners talk about continuity of flows, these are the places that always show up. A single bridge, yard, or server farm in any of them can ripple through the entire economy. I'm not suggesting these deployments or anything more than what it's been publicly stated, which is for crime prevention and immigration enforcement, but it's worth noting how strategically important these areas are. The geography itself hints at a broader logic, a quiet focus on securing the junctions that keep modern life running. Hold the major ports, the Mississippi export belt, the Chicago rail nexus, the Memphis air cargo hub, the key border crossings in the DC, New York, and Nova communications and finance core, and you protect the country's ability to move goods, energy, and information through almost any shock. Whether by design or coincidence, the current deployment mirrors the blueprint of America's critical infrastructure. Now really think about this for a second. If the deep state players were planning riots and they were planning a war, you would actually have riots in these areas, maybe to destroy the physical infrastructure, and you would use cyber attacks to hit the digital infrastructure to shut down the country. So think about it. Is Trump positioning the National Guard in these areas because they know that this is what they're trying to do? Because I do believe if you're going to start war, and the deep state players were talking about the Great Reset all the way back to March 2020, and they were talking about bringing down the financial institution because they have to crash their financial system because, again, it is at a point where they can't take it any further. What do? Well, you can use rioters to hit the physical aspect like train lines and things like that, and you can use cyber attacks to hit the digital part to create the idea that Russia hit us with the critical infrastructure and have the riots at the same time, where basically it leaves the country with nothing. And I think this is why Trump is actually pre-positioning the National Guard. And actually, if you're going to use cyber attacks, maybe to try to stop the election somehow, some way, the National Guard is also monitoring that. And they're also physically in that position to protect the elections at the same time. So I think there's many, many different reasons why he's pre-positioning the National Guard in these areas, which is very, very good.
Black out the system. Black out the system. Black out the system. Black out the system.
Is this blackout site a key hub for organizing what Dave is talking about in X22 report? Is this part of what the left is attempting to do? Should this site be looked into by the FBI? Does Does Rosie O'Donnell have anything to do with this? It's definitely worth noting, in my opinion.
Good shit, man. You're muted.
Anyway, sorry about that. I was muted.
There you go.
I think Parabellum's froze up.
He's in deep thought, dude.
Yeah, he is a deep thinker. But anyway, I wanted to play that because that's going to set up what I've got lined up here. We had that on a previous episode that I'd put together, but again, Red October I don't think's over yet. I think there's still more to come from Red October, but we're going to jump into some of this and 11.
Before you start that though, Hex, and I'm,
Okay.
I'm sure it probably has nothing to do with the other, but just hearing them talk about key infrastructure points, and then I heard them mention that FedEx terminal in Memphis,
Mhm.
which is another large shipping hub, and then you see what just happened in Louisville with this UPS flight.
Yep.
I mean, it just you can't ignore it, dude. I mean,
it's definitely notable. There is, and like there's no coincidences in this shit.
and something else that I noticed too. Did you ever hear about that Western Alliance that Gavin Newsom had mentioned?
I think you had talked about it a show or two ago.
Well, you were showing that map just a minute ago that had suggested NG deployment and what states were suggested and what states that it had already taken place. There, a lot of the states that are suggested by Trump are a whole lot of the states that Gavin Newsom says is going to be part of his Western Alliance, where he's suggesting for the National Guard to be deployed.
Yeah. How about that shit?
yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and then you got all the Soros Foundation that just recently came out showing how Gavin Newsom was funded by George Soros and all of his foundations.
Yep.
We've had that on the show before. So
anyway, I wanted to set you guys up for this. Like, I wanted to play that to give a refresher. We had it on a previous show, but I want to kind of give a refresher of what I was starting to dig into and starting to look at really closely, which was the Red October, the blackout the system by Rosie O'Donnell and stuff like that. So let's dive right into this. Former Vice President Dick Cheney dead at 84. And Dick Cheney died on October 3rd. Or I'm sorry, November 3rd, 11.3.
Yep.
So 11.3, Dick Cheney died. So with that, it's interesting that he died on 11.3. Let me flip my screens around here real quick so I can pull this up, what I wanted to read here. But this was a post I had made over on Facebook, and I'm just kind of going to skim through it a little bit here. But I've been talking about Q22 and Q3 on the show the last few times. And then we went over Q3. I was connecting it to the blackout, the system website, which, we seen that in the video. And now, again, in that video, you look at that map and it overlays with our key points of infrastructure within the United States. And then the video that showed the blackout the system website, there was a lot of dots on there, and the website ended up removing the map, but a lot of those dots laid right over key infrastructure parts in the United States. So in Q3, Q gave us a lot of information, but within all that information that he gave us, Q tells us, why was DNG caught up in 12 cities? As I'd said in, I think it was episode 27, it looks like it's going to be 12 cities, but let's let me see here. Let's take a look at Q26, which says the following. Think about it logically. The only way is the military fully controls, save, and spread once 11.3 verifies his first marker. So that's in Q23. Biggest advanced drop on poll. So The only way is the military. 11.3 verifies his first marker. NG caught up in 12 cities. Cheney dies on 11.3. Are we going to see a stronger military presence coming in within the next couple weeks or months? I mean,
Good possibility.
That's what it's looking like to me, that we're going to see a stronger military presence coming up here pretty soon. I think 11.3 was the marker that Q was talking about, in my opinion. And I see the NG being beefed up here pretty soon, and I'll get into some more of this here in just a moment. But actually, I should have pulled that up just a second ago, and I didn't. But let me pull Q.3 or Q3 up. Remove and put that up there. Q3. So, like it says right in there, not about this is Q3, not about Republicans versus Democrat at this stage. Where is HRC? Why was the NG caught up in 12 cities? Trust your president. So I think we should trust Trump in this, with what we're seeing going on right now. But before I move any further, has anybody else got anything else?
I've got one quick question on it.
Okay.
It may not be nothing. As far as the government shutdown goes, and Schumer is basically the one in control of it right now, he's the cause of it. Could this be some kind of stall tactic on his behalf to keep the NG from being deployed in these states because they can't fund them right now?
Well, I mean, that's a good possibility, because you had Schiff, Shifty Schiff.
Yeah,
but you had him, back during Trump's first term, and he was, trying to put that thing in against the Posse Comitatus Act, to where Trump couldn't use the Insurrection Act. He was trying to add to it and stop Trump from using the Insurrection Act, which, relates to the military being used on U.S. soil. So I don't know. Maybe Schumer's trying to do that. Or
doesn't
maybe
that sound like their normal playbook with the Smith Modernization Act? You see what I'm saying? This is exactly out of the Democratic playbook.
But maybe he is trying to do that, or maybe this is all a psyop, possibly, and Schumer's controlled, and he's doing what he's told to do. Because, like we were talking about that top of the show, with the whole thing of those not seeking re-election, is Schumer not going to seek re-election? Let's see what happens in that. I don't know. Right now, it's a guessing game.
It's funny that you mentioned that too, Hex, because that was going to bring me to the other side of the coin, talking about the NG not being able to be funded right now, and Schumer possibly using that as a defense tactic. But if you look at it from the other side, and Schumer has basically been, I guess you'd say, like Nancy Pelosi, been not forced out yet, but he's doing what he's being told to do.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got all the ingredients in place right now with this shutdown. And as far as the SNAP program goes, all the ingredients are in place for civil unrest, which would give you a really good reason to deploy National Guard to these places.
Yep.
Could they be using it for that?
It's a good possibility, which brings me to Q26. Think about it logically. The only way is the military, fully controlled, save and spread. Once 11.3 verifies his first marker. Once 11.3 verifies his first marker. And again, this is what I was getting at. Are we going to see a stronger military presence within the U.S. here in the coming weeks and months?
I think as this shutdown stretches out, that's a real good possibility.
Yep. We've got I'm gonna have to remove some slides here in just a second, but we've got this Trump put out on Truth Social on the 4th.
The only thing we're really waiting on is this shutdown to be over with, so we can get all of our people in place and be able to do these moves. You're looking for Red October, but it's been a little bit delayed. I think it's still going to happen. We just got to, everything we've talked about today, the nuclear filibuster, being able to push that through, be able to get all of our people in place to be able to do the accountability that we need. And I think that's what Trump's been pushing the whole time.
It's stages we're going through right now. And As far as accountability, I think a lot of people are freaking out right now. What the left's doing with this whole entire thing, with the Democrats are doing with this shutdown and stuff like that, is they're trying to divide the MAGA party, because what's the saying? United we stand, divided we fall.
Absolutely.
And that's what they're trying to do, is divide the MAGA party, because when you're divided, you're weaker. And that's what they've done. Like, they have separated us over the years by race, by religion, and pitted us against
they're
each
masters
other.
of it.
Yep. And that's what they do.
Divide and conquer, man.
Yeah, they're
exactly.
masters.
Divide 100%. Divide and conquer. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
They've done it to the African American culture for 20 years. Now, they're opening up their eyes. They've done it to every single race across of America. I mean, Democrats have done this for, I can't even tell you how long. At least 40 years they've done this. It's their playbook.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They're good at
it. They're really good at it. That's what they do,
So,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish.
They present all of these questions, and if you can get the mass population asking questions or questioning so many things, and they don't really know what to believe. Even Obama came out and he said it, this is exactly how I would take over and assume power. This is exactly what they do. They implement and they put those questions in there for even conservatives, sitting at the kitchen table to be able to disagree. Once you start disagreeing, then it's game over.
Yep.
All right, so let's look at this Truth Social post by Trump here, and this was my take on it. So Trump had posted on the 4th, 11/4/2025, and he put ... So it begins. All right, so let's get into some Red October stuff here. Start kind of working our way into it. Red October. How do you start a war? Trump posted this, on the 4th, and he posted, and so it begins. Yeah. Embedded within Q, and let me pull that up real quick. I think I've got it. Yep, I do have it. Let me pull that up real quick. So we'll go through this. So, embedded within Q 2348, and let me biggie size that so everybody can see it. Embedded within Q 2348. Q told us the following. Note, the hunt for was dropped, leaving Red October. So, you can see it. I got it underlined there. The note or note, the hunt for was dropped. So that just left Red October.
Yep.
October was filled with a bunch of news, in my opinion. Like, we had the beginning of the shutdown. We had all the stuff come out on a bunch of stuff come out on COMEY, Brennan, a bunch of others. Yeah. So, in my opinion, October was a pretty red October, but that wasn't the true red October. And on top of that, you had tensions between countries, like, the whole thing with Ukraine and Russia and Israel. You had those conflicts kept popping up and all, off and on. And then you had, and now we've got Zoran Mandani.
Yes.
Which, in my opinion, is a communist.
Absolute communist.
Was elected mayor. And like you said earlier, Parabellum, he said that was it you or Big Country had said that he would arrest
Netanyahu?
Netanyahu, yeah.
Yeah.
So, all this has happened. The left seems to be, and they've been doing this for a while now, in my opinion, but the left seems to be urging Zelensky not to back down. So, right. Dick Cheney's death, November 3rd, may have been the 11.3 marker that kicks this off. And again, that's my opinion. Let's look at Q 2348 a little bit closer. And,
like you said, how do you start a war? To me personally, from my perspective, is that in Red October, this is the Democrats' battle against accountability.
Yep.
This is what we find ourselves in. This is their moves. This is how they battle against accountability, and this is the Republicans' moves to be able to try and hold accountability.
All right. So exactly, 100%. So let's look at what Trump posted again here. ... And so it begins. And let's look back here again at Q 2348. And Q says, how do you start a war? Markers matter. Remember me talking about 11.3 possibly being the marker? Because that was Cheney's death when Cheney passed away. And then, like you said, Parabellum, you know, this is what they do. Playbook fail.
Yeah.
To me, it's looking like shit's about to amp up, in my opinion, with all
I
of
believe
this.
so. Everything has to boil to a head. Accountability takes time. Good things take time. And it may not happen in the month of October, but you can guarantee that's when it began.
Yep. Exactly. And like I said, Red October is carrying over into November, which I wish I would have pulled that Q drop up, but I didn't get a chance to do it. But anyway, this was interesting too. And this ties kind of right into Red October a little bit, in my opinion. The White House official X account had posted this. The choice is clear now. And they had an image, and I've got the image blowed up there on the right side of the screen, but it says, and this was, you know, with the election that was going on there on the 5th, after the results came out. And Trump says, after last night's results, the decision facing all Americans could not be more clear. We have a choice between communism and common sense. President Donald J. Trump. So Trump had put that out, and he posted that at, if you look down there in the timestamp, he posted that at 3:32 p.m. timestamp. So you take that 3:32 timestamp p.m. and convert that to military time. That's 15:32. Am I correct on that, Parabellum?
Yeah.
All right. So, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to upload some more slides. No. Wait a minute. Yep, I got to upload some more slides here. I ran out of slides.
No, you can go ahead and upload those slides and complete that point. I do have a little bit more breaking news. We were talking about John Brennan earlier. Are you guys aware of who else has been indicted as far as 2 hours ago?
No, sir.
All right, check this out. Got a little quick clip. 30 seconds. Look who else is being indicted.
Tonight, just in the past few minutes, Fox News Digital is now reporting a federal grand jury has subpoenaed former CIA Director John Brennan, former FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, as well as others.
Yes.
It is part of the Justice Department's investigation into the origins of the Trump-Russia probe. Sources say the trio were served with federal subpoenas today. Law enforcement sources also say up to 30 subpoenas will be issued in the coming days related to this investigation. We'll follow that. Tonight, 2 New Jersey teenagers are facing charges.
Damn. So that just came out.
Hell yeah.
I had to drop that one for you, buddy.
That's freaking awesome. I'm glad that came out.
That goes with your the Red October, man. And I just seen this. So it's not just John Brennan now. More information's coming out. It's Peter Strzok. It's Lisa Page. It's 30 other people who have been indicted. Let's go down a little bit of some of the information that we know so far from Grok AI. Southern District of Florida issued subpoenas to the former CIA Director John Brennan, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page as part of Justice Department investigation into the origins of the 2016 Trump-Russia probe, the Russia hoax, and also known as Crossfire Hurricane, and related intelligence matters, including the 2017 Intelligence Community Assessment on Russian election interference, where Tulsi Gabbard, all this, Arctic Frost, Tulsi Gabbard, monitoring the senators, everything. Now you're seeing it come to a head. It's not just John Brennan. You got Peter Strzok. You got Lisa Page. And this is directly related to Crossfire Hurricane. So, you know, shit's about to blow up.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ivan Raiklin is loving this.
Man. I mean, we are right there at it. You know, and the Democrats are trying hard. Yeah, well, they're trying hard to divide us. But literally, when you hear a piece of information like this, it should unite the conservative front more than anything. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
what we are looking for. This is the action we're looking for. President Trump says something about the shutdown, and then you know what? The House and the Senate get together and they make a move. Guess what? You got a leader, not a king. You got a leader. Okay.
Yep.
So you're seeing this stuff, accountability happen across the board because you have a leader. Same thing is in like a football team. Okay. When you got a quarterback that has certain characteristics that can lead you into a football game, right? And there's certain little hidden characteristics about a quarterback that just not every first draft pick has, right? We all know this if you watch any kind of sports. They just got to have that oomph. You know what I mean? They got to have that ability to rally the troops.
Yeah.
I think President Trump's really doing it. And that's what you're seeing happening here.
Absolutely.
So
Peter Strzok, man. Oh, my God. Here we go, dude.
That's big news, man. That's big news.
Anyway, the White House post that they had made, if you look at the timestamp on that White House post, 3:52 p.m., which I've got, let me pull it up here a little bit bigger. You convert that to military time, and it's 15:32. And I thought it was interesting. Like if you look up Q 1532, like this, everything we've went through so far has like made this kind of build, in my opinion, with how it's progressed. And then Q 1532 says it's coming. The timestamp, with the White House post linking to that Q drop. But like that was really cool. But then we also had one second here. Let me get my notes back up here. Okay, so News Treason Channel 17 had put this out over on X, and he says John Solomon is outlining how the DOJ is not equipped to keep up with the volume of evidence that the FBI is producing. What other method of organization could keep up and process 600,000 plus federal sealed indictments?
Military.
Exactly. The United States military. And then if you look over here on the right side of the screen, this is, I think, what he was getting at is Q26. Again, we went over this just a minute ago. The only way is the military fully control, save and spread once 11.3 is verified as first marker. So, like I found that kind of interesting, a really good connection. But let's move on a little bit more here, unless anybody's got anything else to add to that.
Possible tribunals coming.
Possible. That's what I'm thinking. So then you had Donald Trump had posted this video on X on the 5th, and he says, "My fellow Americans, our government is far from over. In fact, our fight has only just begun." And he posted that, and it was a 51-second video. So I've tied this to Q51. And if you look at Q51 says, "Dear Patriots, we hear you. We hear all Americans, such as yourself. The time has come to take back our great land. The time is now." It's like all this is building to, in my opinion, everything I've seen with what I've went through here is it's building to the shit's getting ready to hit the fan. But anyway, rest assured, POTUS is backed by the absolute finest people alive who are dedicated to the eradication of evil and corruption within the U.S. Find peace. God is with us. God bless and be safe. The White House. And Trump had posted this. And then if you watch this video, I think let me pull that video up real quick because I want you to watch this. Because at the end of it, you'll see what I'm talking about with how Q signed off in that. And this is why I found it really interesting that Q signed off in that post with the White House. So which one is that? There it is. Let's take a look at this one here real quick. Let me remove, which one am I on? Remove that from stage and watch this.
My fellow Americans, our movement is far from over. In fact, our fight has only just begun. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So with American pride swelling in our hearts, ourselves, and American courage stirring in our souls, I say these words to you tonight. We will make America great again.
So that was a White House official video that Trump had posted. And again, let's look back at that one more time and what was in the end of that drop. Let me remove that. There we go. And why is it not pulling? There we go. What's at the end of that drop that Q signs off with? And that 51-second video that Trump posted that connects to Q51 and ends with the White House.
Yep.
I honestly think that all this stuff is building to the accountability phase, and it's coming. I've got one more slide. Let me see which one it is here. Oh, what do you got there, Parabellum?
Check that out. Just real quick. So what we was talking about, the video that we just showed, Brennan said that they should not leave. John Thune putting the video out saying nobody's going to leave until you come to a resolution, and that just came out in breaking news. Well, here's President Donald J. Trump's True Social tweet. Earlier today, the United States Senate should not leave town until they have a deal to end the Democrat shutdown. So if that doesn't go with what we were talking about, President Trump lighting a fire under their ass, I don't know what does.
Oh, wait 1 second. My camera has froze. Let me restart. Okay. Let me restart my camera here real quick. But yeah, you're exactly right on that. In my opinion, it ties right into it. The other thing too is I wanted to pull this back up one more time before I get to the next slide. So we just watched that video with Trump, and this is I think it was, is that the one I was getting at? Oh, wait a minute.
When you said 51 in the White House.
Yep, 51 in the White House. So Trump says within that, no, that wasn't the one I wanted to get at. Let me see if I still got it here. Bear with me 1 second.
You're all right.
So, as a Yankees fan, I'm sure you're locked into the.
Oh, I guess I don't have it anymore.
Oh man.
But anyway, within that. Oh wait, I do have it. Never mind. I do have it. Here it is. There we go.
Stop teasing me.
So
I'm telling you.
Within this video that we watched with Trump that tied to Q51, Trump starts out by saying, "My fellow Americans," and it ends with the White House. And this gave me a Q34 vibe along with some Q3. So Q34 starts out, "My fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of shining light. On POTUS order, we have initiated certain fail-safes." So that, we went over this when we were going over the plane stuff there, where we're talking about the airports being shut down or, all that stuff. So on POTUS order, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout, which is slated to occur 11.3. So again, this is Q from 2017, 11/1/2017, November 1st, 2017. But then the other thing I got highlighted here that I want to touch on is on POTUS order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned. And this is what we went over in that other drop or the other earlier in the show.
Yes.
Actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition. So that's kind of what I was talking about with the plane thing there.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've got that highlighted. But But anyway, let's move on down. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad. So we're seeing a whole lot of military presence starting to ramp up a little bit, with the National Guards being deployed. We're probably going to see a lot more, in my opinion. And then, like Q says in this, certain laws have been lifted so this can take place. But let's go back to Q3 here one more time. And at the end of Q3, not about Republicans versus Democrats at this stage. Where is HRC? Why was the NG caught up in 12 cities? Trust your president. So I really, honestly, in my opinion, think that, why is my camera still not working?
Yeah, I don't know. You're froze.
Oh, well.
You can turn it off, turn it back on.
Yeah, let me do that real quick. But anyway, that's my opinion on this. Is I think that we're starting to see this rev up, and I hope what I've put out there just now kind of walked you through what I'm looking at in the Q drops. But nope, I'm still froze. But anyway, you got anything else? Big Country, Parabellum?
I'm straight, man.
Got something real quick here. So this is just new that came out. Eric Daughtry over there on Twitter, breaking Supreme Court rules in favor of President Trump not being forced to spend money the government doesn't have for SNAP during the shutdown for now. So there were some big things that went down with that. If you guys, if you kept up with a little bit of what was going on. So a Rhode Island rogue federal judge basically came out and said, another rogue federal judge said, President Trump, you have to pay this full SNAP benefits and everything. That's on you. So the Supreme Court just made a ruling on that said, no, we do not have to do that. So that's a pretty big thing. That's a pretty good move and a pretty big move for the conservative network right now.
Yeah.
You got another rogue judge who was shut down.
Another rogue federal judge.
Another one, dude. Like, I thought we got things that were implemented that was able to stop these rogue judges, but yet here we still are, and it's still happening.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, man, why are we here? Why are we, and then I really start questioning this government shutdown. Is this, Democrats' final plea? Or are they just trying to hold on to last, fate and try to keep the last little bit of power they have as long as they can,
As Steve Bannon said, this is a dying scream.
It is.
Or this is the last scream of a dying regime.
It absolutely is. I think that's exactly where we're at. They're at the end game. They're doing everything they can to make it last out as long as they can. And yet again, Supreme Court rules in favor of President Trump not being forced to spend the money the government doesn't have for SNAP benefits. So there was emergency SNAP benefits that said, hey, you have to implement these, and this has to happen in the event that we can't do SNAP benefits. But, we all know the whole story, right? Democrat Schumer shutdown. And they're trying to basically, with a rogue federal judge, force President Trump to be able to use money that we don't have in order to fund this when they can just open the government, right?
Yeah.
So, bullshit. Today's a big win for President Trump. Next, again, November 16th is going to be the big deal, guys. November 16th.
Possibly, I think 17th is going to be a bigger deal.
17th as well. Yeah. It'll start 16 and then 17 will roll in.
Yep.
What? Nobody's going to throw a 17 up?
Oh, I'm out of 7. They disappeared.
I took the 17s down.
Yeah, I got.
We kind of wore them out.
I got
What's that?
That poor dog.
Was it already hairless or did it lose its hair? All things I have, it gets harder to tell.
All right, so we want to get some badass clips and close this thing down.
Man, I've only got one for me.
Well,
I don't know if you've got
I don't have any. You got any Big Country?
No, man, just do the dog and the pig again.
I literally love that shit, dude.
Well, we'll do.
Damn, it died.
I like its last dying scream. No!
Did you see the cheeks move on that pig, bro?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Do they really blow ass like that?
That's that last scream of a dying regime you was talking about, Dave.
That's what I was getting at.
That's the Democrats. That's exactly it, dude. And they're shitting on themselves. And, that's what the Democrats look like. Apparently, they're chihuahuas and sombreros. Holy fuck, they're Taco Bell.
But you got one other badass clip. We'll jump into that in just a second. But again, if you want to pull up our QR codes.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Check it out.
And put them up there. And we've got some people watching on a couple different platforms. I just want to remind everybody, whatever platform you're watching on. We got a comment there. Let's see.
Nope.
Never mind. It's a spam.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a spam comment.
Yeah,
I hate spam comments. But anyway, whatever platform you're watching on, guys.
I love spam for breakfast.
Yeah. And a sandwich.
Yes.
But whatever platform you're watching on, guys, go down there and smash that like button. Give us a like, share the show. We're starting to progress a little bit more, getting a little bit better at doing this. We're new streamers. But if you screenshot what you see on the screen right now, the QR codes at the top, the red one is X and the white one is that's Facebook. Am I correct, Parabellum?
Yes, the one on the right, same cue's red, that's X.
So
and the other StreamYard Duck, that's going to be the Facebook QR code.
So you can screenshot those with your mobile device and go back into your photos, and you can hold down on either one of those QR codes, and it'll take you directly to either one of those pages, X or Facebook, and you can give us a follow on there. Give us some ideas for the show. Give us some feedback on what you want to see on the show. But anyway, we're going to jump into the last badass clip, and we are going to close.
I do have one final thing.
Okay.
And I just feel it's so important to go back to this area because I've been talking about it in the last couple of shows, talking about Sidney Powell. And everybody knows the Sidney Powell ordeal with Smartmatic and Dominion. Then you got Newsmax, and they sued Newsmax. They sued Fox. They won. And then all of a sudden, you've got these indictments that just recently came out, right? These indictments came out recently against Smartmatic, okay, being based out of Venezuela. And they were doing millions of dollars of fraud and extortion. So they've been called out on that. And Pam Bondi DOJ has started indictments against Smartmatic. So just for a little bit of nostalgic feel, I think it's time to revisit a little bit of stuff that Sidney Powell said. And it's a 2-minute video. Let's check it out, guys. We're going to go back and let's just see what she said about releasing the Kraken. Because for you, it may have started with Q. For me, it started with Sidney Powell.
I can hardly wait to put forth all the evidence we have collected on Dominion, starting with the fact it was created to produce altered voting results in Venezuela for Hugo Chavez, and then shipped internationally to manipulate votes for purchase in other countries, including this one. It was funded by money from Venezuela and Cuba, and China has a role in it also. We have staggering statistical evidence. We have staggering testimony from witnesses, including one who was personally in briefings when all of this was discussed and planned, beginning with Hugo Chavez and how it was designed there, and then saw it happening in this country. As soon as the state shut down on election night and stopped counting, those are the states where the most egregious problems occurred. We also need to look at, and we're beginning to collect evidence on the financial interests of some of the governors and secretaries of state who actually bought into the Dominion systems to line their own pockets by getting a voting machine in that would either make sure their election was successful or they got money for their family from it. Well, for fraud this serious, I think even if the states are stupid enough to go ahead and certify the votes where we know the machines were operating and producing altered election results, then they will be set aside by the fraud also. I mean, we are talking about hundreds of thousands of votes, President Trump won this election in a landslide. It's going to be irrefutable. Patriots are coming forward faster than we can collect their information with testimony they're willing to give under oath about how their votes were stolen and how the machines operated. They were updated the night of the election, sometimes after the election. We've got statistical evidence that shows hundreds of thousands of votes being just put in and replicated. There needs to be a massive criminal investigation, and it's going to affect millions of voters and elections. And it's been organized and conducted with the help of Silicon Valley people, the big tech companies, the social media companies, and even the media companies. And I'm going to release the Kraken.
Dude, do you guys remember this shit? Did you see Sidney Powell when this was coming out? Like, I was really amped up. This is what got me amped up. This is what got me vibed. This is what got me going. You know, I didn't really follow the Q scene. Like I say, this part, same Q's, different views. For me, when I started listening to Sidney Powell, I said, holy shit, it's about to get real. But then again, I also know that she released information at the wrong time when the wrong people were in power. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think
same thing with the Anthony Weiner laptop. Like, she had a whole big spiel on that she done. And it was just the wrong time to do it. But I think a lot of this stuff's going to come back into play.
I think it will, dude. Let's go a little bit, just real quick, just a little bit into this, okay? So on November 7th, 2025, a federal grand jury in District, Florida issued subpoena. No, hold on. I've got the wrong one. I'm sorry. It zoomed in. Shit. Let me go right here. Okay. October 16, 2025, U.S. Department of Justice filed a superseding indictment in the Southern District of Florida charging Smartmatic and its parent company, SGO Corporation, with foreign bribery, money laundering, and related conspiracies under the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. This expands on prior 2024 charges against these three executives of Smartmatic. Okay, Roger Alejandro Pinate Martinez, George Miguel Vasquez, and Eli Marino, alleging that they funneled over $1 million in bribes from 2015 guys to 2018. This shit happened with Sidney Powell in 17. Okay.
None of those. I just want to point out that none of those sound like American names.
Oh, absolutely not. They're Venezuelan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is based out of Venezuela, and Hugo Chavez, who was the president, guess what? He died in 2000, I think, 13 or 16. I can't remember.
Aren't we like blowing Venezuelan drug boats out of the water right now?
Yes, we are. Yeah. We're blowing. Yes, we are, dude. I'm saying there's so many connections here, dude. There's a whole freaking
everything ties together.
That I don't think anybody's really. Maybe they have, but I don't know if it's been put together fully yet. But you're blowing Venezuelan cartel boats out of the water for drugs, you know, and you've got all this shit going on. Let's go a little bit further. Okay, Philippine Commission on Elections to secure and retain contracts for providing voting machines and services to the 2016 Philippine elections. That's what they were in trouble for with this new indictment. These bribes were allegedly financed via a slush fund created by over-invoicing voting machine costs.
You mean USAID?
International banks. You know, I'm telling you, man, a USAID's in there somewhere, dude. They're in there somewhere. Smartmatic, of course, denied wrongdoing. Yeah. That's what you do when you're in trouble. There's no allegations of voter fraud, but here's the deal. You've got overselling voting machines, okay, for millions of dollars in bribery of the top three executives within Smartmatic. And this is currently going on right now, okay? Sidney Powell, what's some of the stuff that she said recently? I had a video for it, but I'll just tell you here quick. A defendant in Smartmatic, $2.7 billion defamation suit, that's what they went after her for, has highlighted the indictment as, there's the word, vindication. So, to me, guys, that's some real huge shit that's going down with Smartmatic. You had Sidney Powell saying this shit. She went after the Kraken to release it. She was President Trump's lawyer, not lawyer, you know, but she was the voice. If you guys go back and you remember and you watch all those, you were waiting for the Kraken to come out, dude. We were waiting for that accountability, yet here we still are waiting for that accountability. but there's so many things that connected to this. I find it to be insane, dude.
Well, again, like the whole thing with the accountability, like I said, we're not like you were talking just a minute ago about how Sidney Powell put this stuff out too early. And it's the same thing right now. We can't put this stuff out. We can't release all of our cards right now with evidence, because what's going to happen if we release all the evidence right now?
I mean, it's going to be a slap on the wrist.
We got a corrupt system in place. Yep.
You got to get your people in place. You got to move your pieces on the board.
Yep, exactly. Chess pieces. And I think that we're going to have accountability right now, a little bit coming up pretty soon, but it's not going to be like major. Like I'm thinking like Comey, Brennan, Letitia James, stuff like that. Like really, again, low level hanging fruit that we can get right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to have true accountability of these higher ups like Hillary or Obama or anybody else until we get this system cleaned out. Now, I'm wondering if maybe like some of this shutdown has to do with that, is like cleaning the swamp out.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, it's got to be.
But
President Trump pushing so hard for the nuclear filibuster. To me, there's only one reason why.
I don't remember what episode we talked about this on, but I was talking about this on a previous episode, is that I don't think we're going to see true accountability until just prior to the midterms of next year, or just a little bit after midterms next year. I think that's where we're going to start seeing true accountability happen. And people's got to be patient. Like the thing you got to look at with this is this whole entire system goes back decades and decades and decades.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like you had Abraham Lincoln. He was one of the ones who got rid of the central banking system that come in, and, you know, the system was starting to get corrupt, and he got it out. And then you had Jackson do it, and you had multiple other presidents. You know, this shit comes in, they try to get it out. Kennedy, same thing. He was trying to get rid of this, but it's had decades and decades to embed itself into our political system. So it can't be cleaned out in just a matter of a year. Like this run, like Trump says, the swamp runs deep. It has to be cleaned out.
It's like trying to get a RICO case times a million.
It's gonna take time to clean the swamp. So people have to be patient.
Absolutely. I do have one badass clip. If you want,
let's do a badass clip, and we'll close this show out
with the outro, and then I have just one quick one. This is Trump dropping a nuke on the filibuster. I thought this was great.
The nuclear option. That was a badass clip right there.
I loved it, dude. Nuclear option. Somebody put a lot of money into that AI. We thank you for that. We appreciate
that. Who done it? Do you know?
I don't know. I just found it randomly.
Well, hat tip to you guys, whoever done that, put that together. That was awesome. We're going to close the show out for tonight. Closing words. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Parabellum.
Oh my goodness. So much big stuff that's happened, man. Again, accountability has happened in October. Is it going to happen in October? Most likely not, because we understand that things do take time. We've said this before. It's going to take time, but I think we're going to get there. We see a lot of moving pieces that are happening, and I'm pretty good with what's going on right now as far as the conservative front. I think you see a lot of the conservatives actually standing up, listening to their leader, President Trump, not a king, but an actual true leader. I think any man should follow somebody like that. But I think we are definitely getting into a phase of where accountability is going to happen. We'll just see where it goes, and we'll see you next Friday.
All right.
Big Country, you want to go, or you want me to go?
Just short and sweet. Just remember those families in Louisville, anybody that may have been involved with that crash. I'm sure they could use your prayers right now. And God bless. We'll see you guys next Friday.
Absolutely.
Yep. I agree with Big Country and Parabellum both. keep those families in your prayers with the incident that happened in Louisville and the UPS plane crash. And with Parabellum, what he said, accountability is coming. Like I say this just about every closing show, you got to be patient. Accountability is coming, but we will get there. Hang in there. Again, it's a big system that's been put into place, and it's going to take time to clean it all out. So hang in there. But God bless, guys. Peace out, and where we go one, we go all. And we will see you next Friday night at 8 o'clock.